Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Odin's Movie Blog. I am the critic who is a cynic. How is everybody doing tonight? So, as I said, went out to dinner tonight. We had a really great time, but I figured I might have a little bit of time left. And since my wife is still not feeling well, she is heading to bed early once again. And so I have about roughly hour and a half, just like last time, to be able to talk to you guys once again. And so much happened today. If you did not follow my video, I did another video, which I will say it's probably the most fun I've had making a video. As Stephanie said on Twitter, she said, "I've never seen you throw so much shade for an entire video," and she loved it. So I was really glad that it got that kind of reaction, and it was so much fun to be just nonstop sarcasm about it because, oh man, there were just so many thoughts on everything that happened with just the release of the solo Blu-ray and all the announcements and all the special features they have listed, which is some of them are just so nonsensical. They don't make any sense whatsoever. And then, of course, we also had the interaction on Twitter today with Jon Kasdan himself. He actually tweeted out at me, and we've actually had a little bit of back and forth, and he's come out as being very genuine, as being very nice, and I don't really know how much of that is genuine or not. I know that Jeremy has his doubts. Jeremy is taking it more as being almost in a way condescending, and I can understand where he's coming from. I definitely think it's mostly an act. I really do think that he's just trying to get people to attack him so that he can screenshot things, so that he can start, to say, oh, this is the people that we're dealing with. These are the crazies that we're dealing with in the fandom. And, I think that's kind of the point. He's trying to kill people with kindness and trying to get kind of nasty reactions, which is why I've been very straightforward with him. I've been very polite to him. So I know that a few people have gotten in on Twitter but yeah, Jonathan Kasdan, for anyone joining, has tweeted back at me. And so if you want to get involved in that conversation, check out my Twitter because it's interesting, to say the least. It's very, very, very interesting. So, all right, we got 6 people in here already. So let me go get this chat up to see who we have here. Excuse me. My dogs are with us once again. So I'm trying to block the couch so that they don't destroy it tonight, but we'll see what happens. And then also, my chair has been acting very odd, and I don't like it. It's been shrinking and everything. Oh boy! So we got more Jon Kasdan tweets. I'll address those later. But yeah, if you want to get involved in that conversation, please check out my Twitter at Odes Movie Blog and just check for the tweets with Jonathan Kasdan's name tagged in. And yeah, join in the conversation. I would recommend trying to be respectful, or at least being, I don't know, like, because part of me just doesn't want to feed into his ego. Part of me just does not want to feed into him trying to say, this is the fandom, this is what everyone looks like. And it's just, I don't want that to happen. All right. What we got? Voorhees67 first. What is up, Voorhees? Welcome back to the chat. Lee Lang says, early Richie Rich, sup, Odin. What is up, Richie Rich? Star Wars Dad, what's up? Want to say thank you, and thank you in my video 30 minutes ago. Well, thank you very much, Star Wars Dad. So if you have not checked out his channel, please do. He's been uploading a couple of videos. He was one where his 10-year-old son I don't really want to call it an attack, but essentially he tweeted out the video of his 10-year-old son and got blocked for it. Got a thumbs down from the guy that he tweeted out to. So it was just ridiculous. But yeah, absolutely glad to support. Jason Clark says, okay, so I got to hear all about Jon Kasdan responding to your video today on Twitter. Yeah, I know. Yeah, so basically, yeah, I tweeted in my video. I tagged him in the video that I posted on my Twitter page, and he actually responded back to me, and he's been very polite in his conversations. Now, whether it's genuine or not, we really can't say. I really can't say for sure. I mean, obviously, I have my own speculations, and I know that Jeremy does as well, but I can say that there were definitely a couple of trolls, one of which I had to block because he was literally not adding anything to the conversation. I've said this before. I only block somebody if they're just going to troll me, if they're just going to waste my time, not giving any facts and figures, not listening, basically also he was just trying to tear me down and calling me names, calling the fans names, and all these other things. So I was like, nah, I'm not going to put up with that nonsense. So I did block someone today. Before he says, do I win something for the first comment? No, you do not. You do not win for the first comment. Lethal Lang says, hello. Lethal says, I got your video on my watch later list, mate. Awesome. Well, please let me know your thoughts on it, Lethal Lighting, and also go check out Lethal Lighting's channel because he's putting out some really great content. Jason Clark says, Odin is not on yet, right? I am on right now. So you might have to refresh it. Or he says, was Jonathan Kasdan mean to you? No, he wasn't. It was actually very respectful. And it was kind of that odd, like, again, trying to kill with kindness type of response. And it just, there's something unsettling about it for sure. I might have to try and see if I can pull up those tweets just so I can read them off to you guys, because there's just something about it where I don't trust it. And it's just very odd. But I will say this much. I know that we're probably not going to get a whole lot of people in here tonight because Jeremy is live right now. He is with Rebel Force Radio. So if you want to go check that out, if you're interested in Rebel Force Radio and everything that happened with that story, with them being misrepresented and all the nonsense that happened with them, go check them out, go support them, because that's what Jeremy's doing right now. And that's why I know that we're probably not going to get a whole lot of people tonight. So yeah, just letting y'all know. Let's see. Eldon Myers says, yo, what is up, Eldon Myers? Leave a like and says, oh, John Kasdan, you say, please tell me what he said. Arne, I'm going to get to that. What up, Arne? Richie Rich says, John Kasdan ain't no Lawrence. That's right. Jake M, what is up, Jake M? He says, what's up, Odin, back in Asgard? You hear about the theory of Rey being Luke's niece. The Force tells her when she's with Luke. It blew my mind. Last Jedi is still terrible. I agree with you. And yes, so I know that someone else, another channel, did that video. I'm sure someone's going to mention it, but I saw the video that John Talks Star Wars did about it. Definitely go check out his channel. Another really great YouTuber, and he showed a bit of the video, and it comes out quite clear that it says that she is his niece. However, for me personally, I don't really buy into it too much because I think it's more of a coincidence than anything else, because to me, it's a little too on the nose. And I feel like a reveal like that wouldn't be that obvious, though. Of course, what do I know, especially with the writing that we have going on in Lucasfilm right now, but that's my own opinion on it. But if that is the case, then everything with Reylo just becomes so much more disturbing. Arne says, I saw Kasdan's tweet. Yeah, he's sent several tweets, actually, to me and to a lot of other people who've gotten into the conversation. Jake Clark says, hello, everyone. It looks like we're here early. I am on right now. That was 9:06. It's 9:09, so I was on at that point. So you might have to just refresh your stream. Donald Hudson says, hello, Asgard. Missed you all. Missed you, Donald Hudson. Glad to have you back. Star Wars Dad says, it was Ryan Johnson himself that thumbed down my son and blocked us. Thank you for clarifying. Yeah, so Ryan Johnson gave a thumbs down to the video and blocked them. That's just... Yep, that's Ryan Johnson for you. Eldon Meyer says, yeah, it was interesting on Twitter today. It really was. Like, it was insane. Donald Hudson says, win the prize of feeling pride in your firstness. Yep, exactly. It's all about pride. Lila Light says, I mentioned your channel in my stream last night. I was talking about how more people are looking into Legends these days. Oh, thank you very much for that. And I am. I mean, I'm still 2 chapters in. I haven't been able to dive further into chapter 2 of the Thrawn trilogy, the original Thrawn trilogy. Guys, if you've never read Thrawn and you don't have a lot of time for books, I highly recommend getting the 20th anniversary edition audiobook of the Thrawn trilogy, because I'm in book 1, 2 chapters in, and the guy that they had to do the voice acting is incredible. Oh my goodness. It is amazing. Like, he does, because of the Thrawn trilogy picks up right after the events of Return of the Jedi. So it picks up where the rebellion has won. Now they're trying to build a stable government. And so it goes into that. So you have Luke, you have Leia, you have Han, you have all the original characters. And the guy does almost every voice perfectly. Like, even though obviously he's not them, you just still feel like when he's speaking, it is those characters. He embodies those characters so well. And the whole time that I was listening to this, especially within chapter 2, because chapter 1 focuses specifically on Thrawn and something that happens on his ship. And chapter 2 starts off talking about Luke Skywalker and everything that happened to him since then. And oh my goodness, it's so good. It's so good. I mean, the voice acting, again, as I said, is fantastic. Let me try and see if I can pull that up. So this is, again, Star Wars. So it's the 20th anniversary edition, Star Wars Heir to the Empire. It's book 1 of the original Thrawn trilogy, and it's performed by, let me see if I can pull that up. It's performed by a guy named Mark Thompson, and Mark Thompson is incredible. Oh my goodness. But yeah, so if you maybe you've even read this book already, but you want to read it again, I recommend trying to track down this audiobook. I actually signed up for Audible yesterday during Prime Day, and I got 3 months for $5. And so my plan is to get, because when you do that, every month you get a credit, and you can use that credit to get an audiobook. So I'm honestly thinking, I already used my first credit to get Heir to the Empire. Heir to the Empire. I'm very strongly considering getting the entire trilogy with my membership. So, oh my goodness, yeah. So thank you so much for recommending Thrawn and Darth Plagueis. Darth Plagueis was a little too dense for me, so I think I'm gonna just stick with Thrawn, because to me it's light enough, but it's also, I mean, as I said, everything is so, it feels so authentic. Like, the whole time when you're listening to it, you can just picture it, and it's almost like you're watching a movie, and it just captures the original characters so well. I'm just like, this is the Star Wars that we want. This is the Star Wars stories that we should have. This is what we should have gotten. And unfortunately, we're never going to get it ever again. And so, man, Thrawn is so good. Again, I'm only 2 chapters in and I'm already loving it. So yeah, absolutely. Lethal Lightning, I have to thank you very much for just, for shouting that out. Jason Clark says, Odin is not on yet. If he is talking right now, I can't see him, but just refresh the stream. Hopefully someone told him. Lethal Lightning says, oh, how are you liking Heir to the Empire, mate? Oh, dude, it's so good. 2 chapters in. I'm loving it. Donald Hudson says, actually hopped from there to here. Well, hey, again, if you want to jump back over there, I totally understand. Again, I love Jeremy. I'm going to be on his channel tomorrow, and I know that he's been very excited about this interview with Rebel Force Radio and just letting them speak. I'm going to try and check that interview out probably tomorrow sometime. But oh yeah, it just looks fantastic. But yeah, I do have my dogs in here, and so that's why I'm going to be looking back every now and then. Let's see. Voorhees says, leaving to read those juicy tweets of yours and Jonathan Soyden. Hey, please let me know your thoughts, because I think I stayed respectful. Arnie says he was passive aggressive. I would say that's how he came across to me, and so I think that's accurate. I really do. Yeah, let me just pull those up for you guys. I mean, I'm not going to be able to show you all the tweets, but this is the thread that I have right now. And so I posted out saying, now we have details on the Solo Star Wars Story Blu-ray release. We had more Jon Kasdan, and so I tagged him in there. We get more Jon Kasdan, more L337, more snowball fights, because there apparently is a snowball fight scene that everyone wanted to see. Oh boy, this hot mess looks to be getting a hot mess of a home release, and one person excited for it, our buddy Swank Motron. That's the guy that I've been talking about over the last 3 days in my videos, the guy who is just like, again, puts the attacks out there, gets responses, and decides to block them because he doesn't want to engage in dialogue. And so then I responded with a couple of things, and then Jon Kasdan was actually one of the first persons to respond to it. And so he said, hey, it was me, Log. Watch your 15-minute video of you reading an article and tweets in a sarcastic but energized way. Funny stuff. Sorry the movie didn't deliver for you. Sorry answering that question about Lando from the Huffington Post offended you. Let me know if there's more I can do. Be well. And so I responded back to him. So again, he comes across as genuine, but of course you can just understand and read everything going on there. Of course, that post gets 39 likes, because all of his, followers, all of his cronies are just going to, follow and eat up every single thing he says. So I responded back to him, said, thanks, just stay away from Star Wars and we will be good. Also, really wish I could see this conversation with Spank Motron, but he decided to block me for trying to start a conversation, because I saw that he was still responding to somebody else, and the only other person tagged in the conversation was Spank Motron. So it's one of those things where I was like, yeah, I really wish I could join you, but he blocked me, unfortunately. So Jon Kasdan says, well, I'm currently not working at Star Wars, thanks God, but I wouldn't turn down another opportunity if it came along. Like yourself, I'm a big fan. Really, we really couldn't tell that. Out of curiosity, who would you like to see make some Star Wars movies, and what would you like them to be about? And so I was like, okay, that's a good question. So I responded, I would love for Denis Villeneuve to make a Star Wars movie. He is a master of his craft and keeps political nonsense out of it. If you want a movie to buy in 4K, that is worth something. Blade Runner 2049. And so then he says, obviously, I own that on 4K, literally my first 4K purchase. Anecdotally, Denis Villeneuve was on the jury at Cannes, so he was at our premiere and much more enthusiastic about Solo than you. So as you can see, he's constantly coming back with these short jabs, but that's pretty much all. I mean, he has a couple other things in there. I don't want to read all of them, but yeah, if you want to check them out for yourself, Odin's Movie Blog. And again, just look for my tweet on the of today's video, which was Solo Star Wars Story Blu-ray looks amazing. And again, there was sarcasm all over the place with that. So please definitely check that out. And also, let's see. So Lethal Lightning says, hey, Donald, I saw you Geeks and Gamers stream. Awesome. Donald has an auto like engage. Yes. So if you're in the stream, we have 18 people right now. Please hit that like button. It does not take very long, and I greatly appreciate it. So thank you very much. Brad Noble is here. Brad Noble, our pet troll. You are back, sir. Dude, we've been missing you so much. We've been worried about you. We were worried that you got killed in an uprising or something. So thank you so much for joining us. Lee Lang says, my Wraith theory is better. I bet it is. Let's see. Don Hudson says, what's up? E. Michael, Allfather Odin, what is up? E. Michael, welcome back to the chat. Jason Clark says, okay, I refreshed. There you are. So what did Jonathan Kasdan say on your tweets? I just read that off, so hopefully you heard that. Lee Lang says, did Ryan subvert your tweet expectation? Brad Noble says, Kyle Ritter is funny as hell. Star Wars Dad says, you've got to read Bane. Darth Bane, yeah, I've heard a lot about Darth Bane. So please let me know a good book to know more about Darth Bane. But I just started the Thrawn trilogy, and I'm loving it so far. So if it's something similar and it's kind of like a cinematic read, then I probably would like it too. I will say that Darth Plagueis, I want to dive into it because I know there's a lot of good stuff in there, but it's just a little more on the dense side for me. All right, let's see. Mex ASC says, was just about to turn in for the night, and then I got a notification, and the first thing I hear about is the 20th anniversary edition of the Thrawn trilogy. Actually, it picks up 5 years after Return of the Jedi. I mean, I thank you for clarifying. So yeah, 5 years after. I mean, it's essentially right after Return of the Jedi, I would say. But yeah, thanks for being specific on that. So yeah, and it's really, really cool. It's so damn cool. Let's see. Mex says, the truce at Bakura takes place immediately after Return of the Jedi. Okay, is that another book? Is that what we're trying to say there? Let's see. Eldon Meyer says, Heir to the Empire is such a great book. I mean, I'm again 2 chapters in, not even 2 full chapters in, and I'm already loving it. Brandon says, oh God, it's like I'm in high school again. I know, right? Don Hudson says, Audible needs to pick you up. You're always recommending books and audiobooks, no less. Hey, you know what? I would love it. I would love that. I mean, obviously, I need to get monetized first before I can get any sponsorships, because I'm still waiting on YouTube to we're almost at 1,500 subs and still haven't gotten the green light on that. But yeah, I mean, I would love to do that because I love audiobooks, and I would love to to give them a shout out. Donald Hudson says, oh, Brad, you're early tonight. I know, he's actually on time tonight. Laura, Ryan stole my fan fiction story. Hey, what is up, Laura? How's it going? Cobra Geyser Soze, we've missed you. You haven't been in the chat lately. I love reading that name. Cobra Geyser Soze, welcome back. He says, hey, brother, have you seen the Lion Johnson plagiarizing video of Escape from LA versus Last Jedi? I have. I do think it's a little thin. I think the evidence is a little thin. There's more evidence that he stole from a fan fiction, which is the reason why I love Laura's name so much. But I have seen the video, and there might be something there, because obviously he has kind of a history of plagiarizing things, at least when it comes to Star Wars. So could be something there, but I'm not quite on board that conspiracy theory yet. Lee Lang says, yeah, I feel the Darth Plagueis novel is a bad place to start. It's a fantastic book, but a bad place to start. Yeah, I think you're the one that told me that, and so that's the reason why I ended up looking around. And when I found the 20th anniversary audiobook edition of the Thrawn trilogy, I thought to myself, okay, this seems like a great place to start. Started listening, and again, the voice actor, top notch, so damn good. And also, I recommend, if you have never read it or you maybe want to read it again, go to Amazon.com and try and see if you can listen to like an excerpt of it, and hopefully it's one of him speaking either in Ben Kenobi's voice or Luke's voice, or I mean, just there's every single character. C-3PO, he does every character perfectly. Let's see. Star Wars Dad says, we all need to get together and go to Chicago for 2019 Star Wars Celebration. Yeah, I mean, I would love to. I honestly, I know a lot of the tickets are gone, but also I'm just not in the place to be able to financially support for that right now. But I would love to do that. I would love to go to Star Wars, especially. So Ethan Van Sciver's live now, right? Live right now too. But I would love to do that because I personally would just love to hang out with Jeremy and with Ivan Ortega, and I don't know how many other people are going, but I would just love to hang out with them. I would go to hang out with them and talk Star Wars, and I'd be less interested in all the nonsense that they're going to try and push forward. But also too, it'd be interesting if they decided at that point to announce some major changes. That would be awesome. Lethal Lightning says, that would be very expensive for me. Me too. Even more so for you, Lethal, because of where you live. Brad Noble says, no idea how to spoil this now. Okay. What you spoiling, bud? Brandon says, almost 30-year-old book spoilers. Yeah, so because I'm starting to read the Thrawn trilogy, yes, it's almost 30 years old. Please don't spoil anything for me because I love it. RNA passive-aggressive. Yeah, so I think you're responding to how I was reading those tweets. Yeah, I definitely think that he was definitely being passive-aggressive. Will, last name guy, what is up? I think Darth Plagueis stuff is canon, maybe not. I don't know. I think because they made so many things non-canon when Disney took over, I don't think much survived except for what they're doing in the movies and the new books that they're doing. So I don't know if that one survived. Derek James Raven Kasdan, passive-aggressive soy boy. Definitely comes across that way. Definitely comes across that way for sure. Brad Noble says, should have done the Zahn's stuff than the prequels. Yeah, I really do think that. I mean, especially since that stuff, roughly was made or written around the same time. Or at least rather that story was written before the prequels were released, because I forgot that. Yeah, that was like the late 90s, early 2000s. Absolutely agree. Those would have been such better stories. I mean, again, 2 chapters in, and I can already see the movie in my head. I can already see the opening scenes, and it's just awesome. Like picking up where you left off, it just would have been perfect. And also, if you had done that originally, you could have had the same actors playing those roles, and it would have been fantastic. I absolutely agree with you there. I really, really wish that could have happened. Let's see. Derek James Raven says, maybe on the aggressive moments he runs out of soy. Yeah, I mean, again, he hasn't really been aggressive to me. I mean, passive aggressive, but yeah, I mean, it's kind of very insincere the way it's coming across for sure. Super Anime Gamer 01. Heyo, what is up, Super? Welcome back to the chat. Derek James Raven says, Ryan Johnson and Kasdan butt buddies. It's childish, but I do. Sometimes the childish things get to me. Cobra Kaiser says, this is Ryan Johnson really lives by the soy and dies by the soy. He really does. Like that's what he does, and it's what's going to cost him his career. I mean, no one's going to go see his movies now, at least not to an extent that's going to make him a lot of money or make him a hot commodity in Hollywood. Eldon Myers says, dude, Brad is back. Yes, he is. Brad Noble says, Death for the Empire. I think that's the one of the other books. So yeah, I can't wait to come into it. Wait, or is Death for the Empire the Darth Bane one? Is that part of the Thrawn? Is Darth Bane introduced in the Thrawn trilogy? I'm sorry, I'm a little confused. Leave the line says Bane Path of Destruction. All right, so Bane Path of Destruction. Bane Path of Destruction. So would you say that that's a book that's like the Thrawn trilogy? And then I'll put LL Lethal Lightning. Let me know. Let's see. Will Last Name Guy says, it seems like nothing good is canon anymore. It really does. Because again, I knew already going into this book, I had to remind myself, don't forget, this isn't canon. And every second that I'm listening to it, I thought to myself, why is this not canon? Everything that's being told here is fantastic. I mean, I'm only to the point where Leia's 3 months pregnant with twins. But like already it's like, oh my goodness, this is just, it's so good. Like again, because for me, it's like I'm seeing the original actors at that time again in my head as all these things are going on. And I'm just like, this is a movie I would pay to see. This is a movie that I would love to freaking see. 70B says, hey-oh, good evening, everyone. What is up, Stephanie? Welcome back to the chat. That is my Valkyrie. She is one of my mods, and she is fantastic. Will Last Name Guy says, except the originals, of course. I agree. Brad Noble, Thrawn was a pure badass. Again, already, and again, this also kudos to the voice actor. And again, for those who are interested in what we're talking about, please go check out it's Star Wars Heir to the Empire, the 20th Anniversary Edition audiobook, and it's narrated by Mark Thompson. And Mark Thompson is just awesome. He does everything right. It's so damn good. Ellen Meyer says, so true. Derek James Raven says, if they wanted an underground feel to Star Wars, the novel Tales from Mos Eisley Cantina had a wealth of material. I've heard about that book. I have heard about that. And again, just the fact that it's dealing with specifically characters that are coming in and out of that cantina, I think that would have been a really cool story. I think they could have done a lot of different stories with it as well. Last name guy says, hey, Steph. Lethal Line says, and I see our Raven got your attention. Yes. So that picture looked awesome. So that's why I asked you for some recommendations on that one. So again, as long as it's a book like the Thrawn trilogy, that at this point, that's what I'm really interested in looking further into. Let's see. Donald Hudson says, The Rule of Two is a great Darth Bane book to start with. Okay. Is that like the first in a series? Let me know. Mex says, Truce at Bakura is another EU book. It's average, so you can wait to read it until later if you want. Okay. Yeah, all right. Definitely remind me of that later for sure. Brad Noble says, kind of don't want to spoil it for you, Odin. Yeah, please don't. Please don't. Derek James Raven says, Truce Epicura sucked. Okay, interesting. Ooh, we got some disagreements. Derek James Raven says, IG-88 movie. Jason Clark says, I did hear what you said with the comments on Twitter with John Kasdan, so thank you for that. Yeah, again, so, I mean, if you want to check it out for yourself, too, again, there's other things that he said, and there was other comments in there, too, especially there was one person in particular who was just being a giant troll that I had to block. I did take pictures of his tweets, though, so I'll probably talk about them tomorrow. But, yeah, it's just, it was bad. Let's see, Star Wars S. I'm excited for the Game of Thrones prequel series also. That could be really good. I mean, I like Game of Thrones, too, and so I think that the prequel stuff could be really cool because, again, the world that George R.R. Martin has built with Game of Thrones is just so vast. It's like Star Wars. Like Star Wars has such a vast universe, and now I'm starting to understand the extended universe. I'm really starting to understand just the vast richness of all these other characters and these other stories that could have been told in a cinematic way. That's why I think, you know, it'd be really cool, since at this point we couldn't get a live action Thrawn trilogy, at least the way that we wanted to. I'm sure they could recast characters. I just don't think we're quite there yet. I don't think that we're at a place in the fandom for them to start recasting original characters, especially since they've been treating the other ones so poorly at this point. But an animated series, I think there could be something there for Thrawn. I really do. I think, and that might have already been covered a little bit in Clone Wars or Rebels. Again, I don't know because I'm still behind in those shows. But yeah, I mean, there's just so many things that they could do with these stories. It's just fantastic. Leeline says, I am well. Brad Noel says, how space battles work and the Force is great. RTE Rose Tico Enthusiast, what is up? Evening all, what's up, RTE? RTE says, sorry, I had to go yesterday. Our stream wasn't working for me. Yeah, I know there were some stream issues yesterday, so hopefully we don't run into those tonight. But thank you for joining us nonetheless. Again, I always appreciate your presence. Derek James Raven says, thanks for reminding me. Crystal was horrible. So was the one where Yoda was played by an actor. Interesting. Let's see. Will Last Name Guy, Chillin' and Illin. Nickel Noodles. That's a new name. Welcome, Nickel Noodles, to the chat. Lord Odin blends enthusiasm with a soothing afternoon commute talk show host radio vibe. Oh, that's awesome. I appreciate that so much. Thank you. I always kind of think of myself in a lot of ways as being like very like radio, especially with like, hello, everybody, and welcome to Smooth Jams with Odin we're going to get you home on your ride today. And like sometimes I just feel like a radio. So that's awesome. So again, he says, Lord Odin blends enthusiasm with a soothing afternoon commute talk show host radio vibe. I appreciate that so much. Nickel Noodles, you get a digital cookie. Since you're new to the chat, a digital cookie for now doesn't count. Doesn't really matter. It's kind of like Whose Line Is Anywhere, where the points don't matter. But at some point, when YouTube finally decides to monetize me, anyone that gets a digital cookie during a live stream, during that live stream only, at the very end of that stream, I will do a drawing, and then whatever's name's drawed, whatever name from the digital cookie list gets drawed, they will get a free digital movie. So I will, hook up with them via email and try and get their email address so that way I can send them a free digital copy of a film, or potentially also get an actual Blu-ray as well, since I have a lot of Blu-rays in my collection. And so, yeah, so at this point, it doesn't mean much, but if you give me awesome comments like that in the future, you get digital cookies. So my Valkyrie will soon shower you with digital cookies, or one digital cookie, and please enjoy it. Nom, nom, nom. So Star Wars Dad says, yes, they are. Brad Noel says, leave me alone, Steph. Kidding. Oh, Brad's back. RT, Brad is a fragile little flower. You're damn right about that. Tal says, always a good day when you grill. I would love some grill right now. Let's see. Leva Lang says, Darth Plagueis novel is Legends. All right, good to know. Okay, gotcha. Arnie says, who had a childhood with Star Wars games such as Jedi Knight? I'm of the prequel generation, but I played the games first, so that's my nostalgia. Yes, see, I was never a really huge gamer, so I was also in the same generation. I grew up with game system like the N64, a system that I still play. It's still like the most modern system that I will play on a regular basis because I'm just that much not a gamer. But at the same time, I grew up with the prequels too, and so that was the Star Wars I remember growing up. But of course, I was introduced very early on to the original trilogy, and so yeah, so the movies are where my nostalgia is. The movies are where my my heart is really. RTE is talking to someone else. Everyone's talking to somebody else. Super says, wait, they've been making Star Wars books for 30 plus years. I only learned about them a couple years ago. Yeah, I mean, that's the same thing. I only learned about them recently too. I did not understand that there were these awesome characters that just never saw the light of day because they decided to ignore them for some reason. So Star Wars Dad says they need to change Kyber crystal back to synthetic crystal used by the Sith. Interesting. Brad Noel says the rabbit Odin is correct. What? Let's see. Mech says there was a continuity error in the timeline created by Lucas between the PT and the prequel trilogy and the Thrawn trilogy because when Zahn wrote the books, Lucas hadn't decided on the timeline of the Clone Wars. I got you. Well, that's sad. That's really sad. And that also gives more criticism and more credibility to criticize the prequel trilogy because it kind of messed up the fact that, the Thrawn trilogy could have been a part of the canon, and it would have been an amazing part of the canon. Oh, my goodness. Let's see. RT says, I love soy sauce, though. I like soy sauce, too. But soy sauce isn't made with soy, in my opinion. Not real soy. RT says, good in stir fries and dims. Yes. Let's see. Leela Line says, Bane trilogy is like 1,000 years before Thrawn trilogy. Ooh, okay. So that tells me that it's going to be very different as far as like how the Force works and how, what's going on. I guess that would be Old Republic time. I'm not sure. Again, my knowledge of the of that timeline is very limited since, again, I'm limited mostly to the movies. And sorry, I just want to make sure my dogs aren't ripping up anything. Nope, they're just ripping up my futon still, even though I blocked it. Alrighty, so let me just readjust my chair because they keep knocking it down. Let's see. RT says, do Americans have dim Sims? You mean the Sims game, Sim City, things like that? We'd had that. I love Sim Copter growing up. Sim Copter was a very, very fun game. Brad Noble says, quit controlling me, Steph. Stephanie B says, oh, shucks, thanks. No, you are amazing, Stephanie. Yes, Will, it's Asian. Star Wars Dad says, eating Creole shrimp and grits, enjoying Odin. Wait, you know what I mean. Creole shrimp for sure. I don't understand. I think I mean grits. Creole shrimp and grits. I think that's because of what we had talked about last night. Yes, I understand that. Grits sounds so good. Derek James Raven says, the failure of The Last Jedi and Solo had little to do with the SJW element and more to do with bad storytelling and bad filmmaking. Yeah, I agree. I think Solo had more of that SJW vibe to it, in the fact that you had just that annoying droid L337, and then you had Jonathan Kasdan, saying in an interview that Lando was pansexual, just stuff that just didn't have to be a part of the universe, didn't have to be in the movie itself. So I understand where you're coming from there. Like, Last Jedi was not a very well-made film. It's so funny because, someone made a comment saying, where are the plot holes? Or no, it was the same guy. It was Brian Young. Brian Young says, there's no plot holes in The Last Jedi, and it's just like, hold my beer, because it's like, are you kidding me? There's so many plot holes in that movie, and it's like some that are just so easy to spot. And but yeah, I agree. It's also really bad storytelling for sure. Let's see. Saturday B says, how's Freya feeling? So she's feeling a little bit better. She was good. She felt well enough to go out to dinner. So that's a very, very good thing, but she is still under the weather for sure. But thank you for checking in. I will tell her that you checked in on her. So thank you for that. Jedi Starship, what is up? Welcome to the chat. Donald Hudson says, just got the notification. Thanks, YouTube. Yeah, I know, right? Like almost 30 minutes in. Thank you so much for finally notifying me. Jeff Cotto, what's up? He says, oh yeah, it's Asgard time. Odin, what's up, my man? What is up, Jeff Cotto? Welcome back to the chat. Another great YouTuber. Will Name Guy says, I would try Dim Sims for sure. It's like The Sims. Is that what we are talking about? Jeff Cotto says, hello, Asgard. RT says, they're good, Will. Little parcels of glutinous pastry wrapped around pork meat. Ooh, I like pork. Leland says, I love seeing people who are just getting into the EU. It's like excited children in a toy store. It really is, like, because you're just given this, you know, because we already know Star Wars is just this broad universe. I mean, Star Wars, it's just, there's so many different stories. It's a galaxy far, far away. It's an entire galaxy of all different characters and all these different things. And so when you finally start to dive into it, you're thinking to yourself, oh my goodness, like, I want to find out more. I want more. It's almost like you're Veruca Salt from Willy Wonka. It's like, Daddy, I want it now. I want more. Like, that's how I feel in a lot of ways. Because it's like, I want to keep on listening to the book because, again, not only is the voice acting fantastic, but the story is great too. So Dalhassa says, if 70B is the Empire, I volunteer for Stormtrooper service. I think most of us would too. Good to be here, says RTE. Well, some guy says, hello. Derek James Raven says, Lucasfilm really slapped EU writers in the face. While many novels were outright bad, many were very well written, keeping the Star Wars tone. I agree. Again, definitely Thrawn Trilogy is one of those, at least the first 2 chapters of the first book that I've read, which is just fantastic. I agree with you there. And yeah, just really sad that they just took so many stories that could have been made a part of the canon in some way, and they just decided to disregard them altogether. It's really sad. Let's see. Commander Lost Jayhawk. Welcome back to the chat. It's been a while. Hey, everyone. Good Lord. Can we get some Old Republic movies after 9? Well, if the right people are in charge. I agree. So I think that a lot of us would like to see Old Republic films or just anything in the EU. Like, I think there's so many really cool stories that they could tell. Even if they were to adapt certain stories or just make the make animated films, like make full-length full feature length animated films. I think that they could do a lot. They could do the Thrawn trilogy as an animated feature. I think that would work. I think that you could do that. And if you have the right people, you have like Dave Filoni behind it, since he's very good with the animated stories, and you just try and stay away from this newer style that they're trying to play with, I think they could do some really good stuff with that. RT says you can have them steamed or fried and you put soy sauce on them. Awesome. Jason Clark says, I think it shows, though, that if Jonathan Kasdan will take time to respond to a video like yours, Odin, that he is very much aware that people and fans are not happy with Star Wars. I agree with you. I mean, the fact that Jonathan Kasdan, again, a writer for a Star Wars film, is tweeting out to me, and I consider myself to be a nobody because, again, I only have like 250 followers on Twitter, and I have 1,400 subs on YouTube. Like, I really do see myself as a very, very small fish in a very, very large pond. The fact that a writer from this, what should have been a huge movie, because we honestly know that the box office it was not, is reaching out to me, does definitely tell you that they are trying to get, and also the way that he was trying to come across is very nice, so that his fans and his supporters would have been like, oh, Jonathan Kasdan, he's so nice, he's coming across in such a way, when in reality you can just see all the double speak that's in there. If you actually look and pay attention, then yeah, I mean, it's very interesting to see what's going on with Star Wars right now. But me being reached out to in that way is just very, I was not expecting that at all. Star Wars Dad says, why can't you count on Yoda to pick up a bar tab? Because he's a little short. 70B says, that's a big deal, Nick Noodles. I know. First time in here, first comment, and you get a digital cookie. That is huge. So Nickel Noodles, we expect great things from you in the future. But Star Wars Dad, I appreciate that joke. I like corny humor. Short, that tab was. Brad Noble says, Odin is a nice bearded girl. Really, Brad? Really? Really? You're going to be a troll right now? Come on, man. You're better than that. Jake M says, what is your all-time favorite film? Oh, man. So I said this before in previous streams. There's like 3 that are always at the top. Casablanca, 12 Angry Men, and It's a Wonderful Life. Those are just classic films that are damn near perfect in my opinion. And every time I watch them, I think to myself, which one do I like better? I always lean more towards Casablanca. Just Casablanca is just, oh, there's just so many things in there. There's so many lines that have been remembered for movie history. There's just so many things they do with the film that inspired movies. And it's just, I love it. And I just think it's fantastic. So Casablanca for sure. 12 Angry Men's up there too. And It's a Wonderful Life is also one of my all-time favorites for sure. Good question. Brad Noble says, kidding. Yeah, sure, Brad. Sure, Brad. RT says, I stopped at Super Nintendo. Yeah, I mean, I love N64. Greta says, hey guys, just came from acting class. What's up, Greta? Welcome back to the chat. Always great to have you here. Hope acting class went great. She is our resident SAG affiliated actress in the chat. Brad Noble says, saw that too. Derek James Raven says, let this SJW hijacking of Star Wars die. I bought the last ticket to the first showing of May 25th, 1977. Will never feel the same excitement watching the Devastator fly over. Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people feel that way too. I really do. I think that it's the magic that was once with Star Wars is gone. And they need to do something to get it back, because what they're doing, and this is something that someone mentioned on Twitter, I responded to it, saying that they're trying to reach out to this new audience, but the problem is that when you do that and forsake your guaranteed audience, you're only hurting yourself, because the new audience that you're reaching out to aren't buying it. They aren't going to see the movie. They aren't buying the merchandise. They aren't doing these things to give you money. So it's unsustainable. And then you're making the hardcore fans, the ones who actually would buy several tickets multiple times, bring their families, buy all the toys, etc. You're pissing them off. You're kind of just, putting them to the side, and that's just going to hurt your business. It's a terrible business decision overall. And what they need to do is I think they just need to clean house at Lucasfilm, put people in there who not only know what they're doing, but also, of course, love Star Wars and can reach out to the fans. And if they can do that, they can get things back on the right track again, but they have to start now. If they don't do anything soon, they could create they've already created a lot of bad blood, but they can create a lot of bad blood for a very long time if they don't start to make changes soon. I really do think that. Nickel Noodles says, hey man, hope your channel grows. Looking forward to your debut on Geeks and Gamers. Well, thank you, Nickel Noodles, once again for another great comment. 2 comments now, and you're rocking it. So thank you. I really appreciate that, and I'm looking forward to it as well. So guys, if you don't know, I'm going to be on Geeks and Gamers tomorrow. So me and Jeremy are doing a live stream together on his channel at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. So if you want to join us, please do, because it's going to be a lot crazier over here than it usually is on my channel. I'm going to do the very best I can to try and hopefully catch a few names in the chat, but I don't really know what we're going to be doing. I know that he said that he wants to talk about the whole Jonathan Kasdan thing tomorrow, but I don't know exactly. I'm sure like the chat will kind of guide the conversation that we have, and I'm looking forward to it. He's an awesome guy. He's done so much to help me out and to help me become a better YouTuber, to help me create better content, to just to make better decisions. And so I owe a lot to him. I owe a lot to him as a person. And so it's just really cool now to have this almost come full circle and just to be, as you say, debut on Geeks and Gamers. And I really hope that it can continue, because I love his channel. I love his network, and I love all the people that work for him, and I love this whole community. It's just fantastic. So thank you very much for that. I appreciate it. Jeff Cotta says, I dropped a video rating SJW and SJW reporters. Check it out, y'all. Thanks. Definitely go check out Jeff Cotta's video, because he is a straight shooter. Jedi Stark just says, hey, Greta, I'm now suspicious of you. Are you acting now? Will SM guy says, wasn't Thrawn in the Rebels series? Not sure. Didn't watch it. Yeah, that's what I thought. He comes in at the very end, because I've seen animated images of him. RT says, I don't know what soy is made with. To be honest, yeah, it's like salt. That's all I know. It's like liquid salt is the best way to describe it, in my opinion. Dalhaza says, would you say I have a plethora of platos? Yes, a plethora. Jefe, what is a plethora? Everyone should know this movie at this point. At least my regulars will know that movie, because I talk about it every time. Three Amigos, guys, one of the greatest comedies of all time. Check it out if you've never seen it. Mex says, considering that there's so much material to use in the EU, why do you think that Lucasfilm chose to declare all of it non-canon? Because they don't know what they're doing. Because again, they have someone at the top who is not forward-thinking, who just thinks we're going to create something new for a new audience. And because now it's failing miserably, again, $200+ million loss for Solo, at this point, I have a very strong feeling that the higher ups at Disney are looking at Lucasfilm saying, what the hell did you do? And they're probably trying to plan who to put in charge to bring this back, to right the ship, as it were. RT says, yeah, Thrawn was in Rebels. That's why I can't wait to get through Clone Wars so that I can get to Rebels and see me some real Thrawn. Last time I said, soy is made from beans. Brandon says, man, I want to ask Odin about Zahn books. Go ahead. Ask. I mean, sorry. You're saying that you really want to ask me questions about certain things, but you're going to spoil it. Yeah, so just hold off on that. I'm going to try my best to get through it as fast as I can. According to my audiobook, I've got let's see. It's like a 13-hour book. Yeah, it's a 13-hour, 13-minute book, and I have 12 hours and 32 minutes left, so I'm a little over about 45 minutes into the book. So I still got a little ways to go, but I also listen at 1.5 speed, so I'll get through it a lot faster than you would think. Let's see. Arne says, I have a country where we plant soy. You wouldn't believe how real soy looks like. That's awesome. Jedi Starship said, that's right, Tico. Soy sauce because Soylo is very salty. Yes. Brandon says, Creole shrimp and grits. Creole shrimp and grits. Damn. Yeah. Especially those grits. Dalhazza says, oh, yes, El Ruino, you have a plethora of plateaus. Yes, you are absolutely right about that. RT says, no, but we like soy sauce. Yes, we do like soy sauce. Again, since it's not made of soy, not really. Yeah, we like it. Brad Noble says, idea for tomorrow. Okay, interesting. RT says, I haven't seen Soylo yet, so can't comment. Yeah, and most people who haven't seen it probably will never see it, and I doubt you're going to buy the Blu-ray, especially with all those awesome features that we saw on it. Let's see. Brad Noble says, and I regret nothing. RT says, I mean, I'm not in any rush to see it. I'm not bothered really. Again, and that's the biggest problem is that not only do you have the people boycotting it, not only do you have the people like me who bought a ticket to something else to go see it instead, you also have the people who just don't care. Like you have the people who say, I'm not boycotting it, but I also don't want to see it either. And the worst thing that they can do right now for this franchise is create a sense of apathy, to create a sense of just not caring, because that's the worst thing that you can create for a franchise in general. Is like if people don't care about your franchise, that's bad. That's bad business. And the fact that they don't understand that is just really, really, really worrisome to me. Star Wars Dad says, we need a new series to follow. Lucasfilm has dropped the ball. I'm praying Bumblebee and Optimus Prime are on points. I also hope for Bumblebee. I'm looking forward to Dune. Like we've been talking about that the last few days. Like Dune looks fantastic. And we haven't even seen any images of it yet. Why? Because you have Denis Villeneuve, who knows what the hell he's doing, who's a great Hollywood director. And I will watch anything that he does because really. Sorry, they're still eating my my futon. They're eating the wood off my futon. Brandon says, Last Jedi was just much garbage. I agree with you. Derek James Raven says, it killed me not to see Solo. It killed me not to see Solo because Chewie is my second favorite character. He was the only good thing about The Force Awakens. I'm gonna tell you right now, he was the only good thing. Like the only great character in Solo is Chewie. So if you like Chewie, I would actually recommend you maybe try and find a free stream at some point because there's some really great Chewie action in that film. And I do like Chewie a lot too. And he was my favorite part of that film for sure. So if that's something that makes you kind of want to see the movie, then, I wouldn't pay for it. But let's see. Brandon says, every time you see Last Jedi, a fairy dies. Oh, yes, Brad. Last name guy says, Chewie is always great, even in terrible movies. I agree. Jason Clark says, a favorite video game of all time, Maniac Mansion on the original Nintendo. Nice. My favorite of all time is probably 007 GoldenEye on the N64 or Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time on N64. Both great games. Star Wars S says, you guys don't want my job. I live on the road 5 days a week. Oh, man. That sounds rough. Jeff Carter says, bring back the midichlorian theory. Yes, again, I want to see Bob and Jane the midichlorian, and I want to see George Lucas make that film, and I want shirts of Bob and Nancy the midichlorian and all their tiny little midichlorian family and how they interact with the Force, because they are the Force. RT says, have you seen new Ant-Man Hex? Are you talking to someone else? Because I've seen it. I already did a review of that. RT says, I will see. I will want to see episode 9. The main canon is enough for me personally. Yeah, I mean, that's why I'm going to go see it because I want to review it, but I'm not excited for it. I can tell you that much. Last name guy says, I forgot about Bright. I need to watch that. It's on my list too on Netflix. Brandon says, trolls believe in fairies. RT says, all right, thanks. I got talking to each other. Lost Soldier 212. What is up, Lost Soldier? Welcome from Alaska. What up, fam? Wait, John Kasdan reached out to you. What did I miss? Yeah, so check out my Twitter if you want the whole thing. I've already read it out already, but yeah, OMB Blog on Twitter. Yeah, he tweeted out at me. I posted a link to my video. I tagged him in it because I talked about how we have more details on the Solo Blu-ray release, and one of those things is more John Kasdan, so I decided to tag him in there, and he responded to me, and yeah, being very passive-aggressive. Jake M's, Super says, oh, did you say whether or not you've gotten any further into Cowboy Bebop? Not since the last time that we talked, no. So I'm still about... how many episodes am I in? I'm still only the same amount. I think I'm like 6 or 7 episodes in. I'm still like the same amount though. I haven't watched any of the last couple of days. I have not had any time. Lost Soldier says, I will tell my students that Yoda joke tomorrow. Yes, do it. Derek says, Kasdan and Johnson are aware of legit criticism. They are. I mean, they have to be at this point. It's so loud, and the box office speaks major numbers. Like, there's no way they can be ignorant of this at this point. They might act like it, but there's just no way they can be. Star Wars Dad says, John Kasdan explained that he isn't working on Star Wars anymore. Thank goodness. Yeah, exactly. Like that was one line where I'm like, well, thank God for that. And he was like, oh, if they offer me a job again, it's like, no, let's not. Derek James Raven says, episode 9, fail it will. Lethal Lang says, Odin mate, I gotta head off for a bit. If you're still streaming, I'll jump on again. Awesome, Lethal. Well, thanks for stopping by. Anyway, always great to have you. Jedi Starship says, saw an episode of Geeks and Gamers recently. Looks like CNN is getting in on the SJW bandwagon. I mean, well, are you surprised? I mean, that's what CNN kind of does at this point. And yeah, I saw that same video. It's a great video, guys. Go check out Geeks and Gamers, and their most recent video on CNN getting involved in the SJW nonsense is definitely worth checking out for sure. Derek says, Casablanca is my top 5 favorite of. Oh yeah, good, because it's so damn good. Let's see. Lethal Lightning says, have a good stream, Odin. Well, thank you very much. Brad Noble says, 12 Angry Men. I know, it's the original 12 Angry Men is so good. Jeff Cotto, execute Odin 9. Donald Hudson says, I see Heimdall fixed the Wi-Fi on the Bifrost. Yes. Donald Hudson, digital cookie for you, sir. Yeah, so we were having issues last night with the Wi-Fi. So yes, Heimdall actually did fix my Bifrost, so it's definitely going to be hopefully a better stream. Greta says, my dad and I saw Casablanca on the big screen and watch it whenever it's on TV. That's awesome. I would love to see that film back on the big screen. And it's funny because I've always loved that film so much, but my mom had never seen the original, like the entire film all at once before. And when she did, she just loved it because it's so good. Let's see. Brad Noble's mixing a drink. Leave the lighting. Of all the gin joints in all the world, she walks into mine. Yeah, I mean, so many great lines, so many. Donald just says, oh, what are you drinking, Brad? SJW tears and gin? Sounds salty. Mike Sexton, what's up, Mike Sexton? He says, Taylor Swift warned us about bad blood. Meg says, personally, I love the dynamic between Rick and Renault the most in Casablanca. I agree. I mean, I believe it's a sign of a beautiful friendship. It's so good. Like, it really is. It's one of the best parts of that film for sure. You're more interested in that friendship dynamic than you are in the main love story. I would agree with that. Jeff Cotto says, One Punch season 2 when? I don't know. I haven't seen the first season of One Punch, but I've heard good things. Super says, actually, the fact that he's willing to actually interact with you shows he has a lot of promise, in my opinion. Shows he has a lot of promise, in my opinion. Sucks they gave him a feature film way too early. Yeah, I definitely agree with you. Like, I know that there were some people, I think it was Ichibaka on Twitter, who's a really great guy. He reached out saying that he has a lot of hope because John Kasdan was coming off as being very sincere. Again, I don't really know exactly how to feel about it at this point. I do think there was some doublespeak in there. I think that he was putting on an act, but I will say it's a lot better than what we're getting from Ryan Johnson and from Chuck Wendig, that's for sure. Let's see. Jedi Starship says, who here besides me has the Star Wars cookbook? Giving a shout out to Wookiee Cookies Gur hand raise. Oh, that sounds good. I don't have that one, but it sounds good. Lost Soldier says, Kato spoke the truth today. Awesome. Can't wait to check that out. 70B says, I'm on at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time Thursday tomorrow. Thank you very much. Thank you so much for shouting that out. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Super says, I think it's going to take a few years for Kasdan to live this down, and that is if he can improve. Again, I agree with you, but he's not backing down from the pansexual comment. He's doubling down on that, and so that to me is what's worrisome. I don't think he's learned his lesson from that for sure. Mucus Films, says Jeff Cotto. Let's see. RT says, wow, I remember when the Three Amigos came out in the early 90s, and I still haven't seen it in 30 years. Please do yourself a favor and go see it. It is so damn good. I sang My Little Buttercup like about 2 weeks ago at this point, and it was a lot of fun. I did a lot of singing on that stream. I haven't done any singing lately. I haven't gotten any requests, I guess. See, Jason Clark says, has anybody seen the animated cartoon Droids? It's about an R2-D2 and C-3PO, and it's set 15 years before they sold to Luke Skywalker. It was made in the 80s. No, I have not. That sounds interesting. Jedi Starship seen it. Derek says, I disagree. The SJW element were orchestrated from the beginning. Lucasfilm knows exactly what they are pushing. Yeah, I mean, as I said, I can understand both sides of it because I definitely do think there's some SJW stuff in there, especially Solo. But I agree that the films are also bad. I think that there's both those things are happening for sure. Arne says, yeah, real soy is like beans and is unedible. Yes. Or it's also really salty Lucasfilm employees. Brad Noble says, Brandy, old fashions around. Nice. I will take my Shirley Temple. Thank you very much. Jedi Starship says, I thought it was fun for the time. Obviously, it had a limited cast. Sounds about right, though. Sounds about right. Lost Soldier says, I know soy comes from beans, but I like Odin's. It's made of salt better. Exactly. It's made of salt and tears. Max says, speaking of movies, has anyone here seen Skyscraper? If so, is it worth seeing in theater? There was one person on our chat that did see it and did like it. I think it was H. Wong, who hasn't been on in a while. He liked it. I haven't heard of anyone else, though. So let's see if anyone else answered in the chat. But I will say that I really do want to see it. It looks like a lot of fun. It looks like a big popcorn flick. Jake M says, we'll be watching tomorrow, man. Looking forward to it. So if you are Odin, are you going to have Thor Loki appear as like an Asgard High Council or something? That could be cool. That could be really, really cool. I don't know how to make that work, but absolutely. I mean, I do already do my one-man low council. I'm willing to make the low. I kind of want to in the future expand the low council to be kind of like a mini high council. But at the same time, I don't want it to get too large because I do also really like that it's small. I feel like that's kind of like one of the most interesting parts about it. So, but thank you very much. I will appreciate it. I'll try and look out for you in the comments. RT says, yeah, I don't mean soy milk. That's beans, but soy sauce is different. It's very different. Again, it's made of pure salt. Jeff, talking to everybody. Nickel Noodle says, El Guapo, it's a sweater. Today, he is 33 years old. Oh, there's just so many great moments in that film. Brad Noble says, no showgirls in those chapters, right? It's not yet. Well, last time guy says, does the poison raisin come from the soybeans? Eldon Meyer says, the spice must flow, Odin. Jedi Starship says, droids had Boba Fett's first appearance, for those who don't know. Interesting. Let's see. Star Wars Dad says, gotta run, guys. Son is sick. Have a good night. Well, I'm sorry to hear that. Hope he gets better. And definitely, guys, go check out his channel. Go check out his video today. I think it sounds like he put another video up, too, so definitely go support his channel. New and upcoming. Old-fashioned Brad Noble. See, RT says, I thought the Star Wars special was Fett's first appearance. I'm not sure about that. Derek James Brown. Oh, Derek James Brown. Derek James Raven says the actor who took over for Peter Mayhew is spot on, even with Chewie's roar and walk. Yeah, I mean, the new person is great. I think that was the only part of the Solo Blu-ray that I was interested in, is the part that's specifically about Chewbacca, because again, he was the best part of that film. See, RT says, oh, right, I had no idea. Okay, y'all talking to somebody else. Mike Sexton says, Mike Tyson's Punch Out, greatest of all time. Jedi Starship says, there are so many cartoons and comic books that I would love to see animated, but this takes a lot of work and time. I agree. But again, they have to start doing something. They have to start putting those things out there, because if they just keep doing the direction that they're going, it's going to be really, really hard. Sammy B says, I can hear the girls playing. Yes, they are. They're playing. They're fighting. Right now, River is chewing on the futon, and Willow is just biting her hair, but she's being really cute. You see, Lost Soldier says, I know it's total trash fire, but what is the worst part of Last Jedi? Odin and all. For me, it's the part where it says written, directed by Ruin Johnson. Well, I already know that there's at least a couple people in this chat that are going to say hyperspace ram, because that was one of their least favorite parts. For me, I would say if I had to choose, sorry, they keep messing up my chair. For me, I would have to say that my least favorite part of The Last Jedi is definitely Canto Bight. And I know that a lot of people say that, but it's true. I mean, it's just, it's a terrible segment. It's a segment that does not need to be there. It serves no purpose. They don't accomplish anything really. And all they do is introduce a character that could have been really, really cool in Benicio del Toro, and then they just decide to ruin his character with a stupid... it's so funny, because the first time I saw that movie, I had no idea he had a speech impediment, because it was so subtle and just so awkward. I just thought he was talking weird. But then the second time I saw it, because I saw it the first time and I was kind of just surprised. I didn't know how to process it, so I wanted to see it again. And then I just realized just how bad things were. Like the jokes that landed in the first time I saw it just didn't land the second time. And then of course you just notice all the damn plot holes. And so I would probably say and I hated the Canto Bight scene the first time I saw it, but the second time it was just even worse, because it was just so painful. Let's see. Super says, Disney's screwing up everywhere. Lucasfilm is a mess, and even though Marvel Comics isn't nearly as profitable, Disney's letting them farm out comics and become a lifestyle brand. Yeah, I've heard that Marvel Comics right now are terrible. I have heard that since Disney took over, the comics industry has been really, really bad. And that's really sad, because that used to be their bread and butter. Derek James Raven says, I meant the gesture of the roar. Yeah. Lost Soldier says Bright was lame. Yeah, that's what I've heard. I've heard mixed things about Bright. I'm willing to give it a shot though. Bright Noel says 9. Nope until I see reviews. Yeah, I agree. I think that a lot of people are going to feel that way for sure. Jake M says it'd be pretty far out there. I'd love for Luke to have learned how to teleport with the Force so he could be in episode 9. I think that they might play around with that. Honestly, at this point, I really do think they're just going to make him a Force ghost. But I've said it before. If they introduce time travel and are able to bring characters back, I would be fine with that. Again, as long as it means retconning The Last Jedi, I'm okay with that. I am. River, you are ruining. You can see her little face. All right. You asked for it. You're ruining my chair. And you asked for it. All right, so this is River. She is a menace, but she's also really, really cute. And I love her. Even when she, eats my futon. As you can see, she loves me. Hi. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Willow, come here. Come here. Willow, come here. Oh, let me grab Willow. So Willow is adorable because she is a giant and she doesn't realize it. But every time you go to pet her, she rolls over. There she is. She rolls over. Hi. And she wants belly rubs. How's it going? Do you see yourself? Do you see yourself? Who's that puppy? Who's that puppy? Can I get a kiss? Thank you. All right. Oh, man, oh, man, oh, man. I need to get a new chair, guys, because this one keeps messing up on me, and I hate it. All right, but now they're going to be fighting because they're jealous of each other. All right, let's get back. Hey, quiet. All right, let's get back to the chat. All right. No, you already got your attention. Go away, River. I love you, but go away. Oh, no. Okay, so my... All right, no, that's top chat. I was like, please don't... River, stop it. You're being a menace to society, not the movie. All right. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, guys. I am limited. So unfortunately my chat jumped. And so I unfortunately am going to miss a few comments. I'm stuck at 949. It won't let me go any higher. So if I missed your comment, please feel free to repeat it. So that way I can come back to it. But the first thing I have is Jeff Cotto saying, Jason, you are strong with the Force, brother. Let's see. RT says Sydney Green Street. Super says, and there's also the issue with the Fox shareholders not wanting the Disney deal. What do you think is probability of Disney imploding? Well, I do think that Disney is going to end up buying Fox. I know that a lot of people are pissed off about it, but what I think is going to happen is that Comcast, no. The other company, I'm blanking out on it right now. The other company is going to allow to make a counter offer. They're going to make a higher counter offer, and then Disney is going to make a larger counter offer, and then that's going to be the end of it. Disney is going to end up buying it, but they're going to spend so much more money on it, and I really do think it's going to have a negative impact because they're spending so much money buying all these properties, but now their properties aren't making profits. I mean, when you have a Star Wars film again that's losing $200 million, that's nothing to ignore. Let's see. Well, same guy says, I have to be honest, I'm excited for episode 9 because I wanted the torture to be finished. Hey, I can understand that for sure. Let's see. Lost Soldier says, Odin, don't say see Casablanca on the big screen out loud. They will hear you and remake it SJWs. Again, what I mean by that is the original. I don't want them to remake it. That would be a bad idea. So if you're listening out there, never, ever remake Casablanca. It is perfect the way it is. Please don't touch it. Thank you. Let's see. Jedi Starship says, I know we all hate The Last Jedi, but will any of you guys want to go to Disney Star Wars Galaxy Edge theme park? I mean, if I'm ever in Disney again, I'm going to stop by to see what's all about because I'm sure there's going to be some stuff in there. I know that someone said recently that they have ties to the park and they found out that they're trying to put in a lot more original trilogy stuff than before because they are worried that it might not be successful. So I'll be interested to see and check that out for myself. Brad Noble says it will be a crap show. RT says they won't remake Casablanca. I really, really hope so. Jeff Cotto says, thank you, guys. Somebody B says, John Kasdan equals Gene Ralphio from Parks and Rec. Let's see. Mech says, there's a quote from Darth Plagueis that applies to Mucus film. Decay has no cure. Decay has no cure. It has to be eradicated by the flames of a cleansing fire. Ooh, that sounds great. Jedi Starship says, Odin chat room, one word, Tron. Brad Noble says, Steph, your theory has merit. I think I missed her theory. Oh, no, I just got it. Sorry, I'm all behind now because of everything that happened with the chat. RT says, depends who owns it now. What studio made it? Lost Soldier says, Odin sing Land Down Under by Men at Work. I don't know that song, so I can't sing it. I'm sorry. Thank you for throwing out a movie. Thank you for throwing out a song recommendation. Thalhazard says, Tron was awesome, dated, but still awesome. It's the effects do not hold up at all, but I understand there is definitely a charm to it. For sure. Brad Noble, let's hope Hollywood hears. I hope so. Eldon Meyer says, last time I made a song request, you got in trouble for singing out Cyndi Lauper. That's right. That's because I played the actual song. So as long as I don't do that, I'll be fine. But yeah, you're right. I got a copyright claim. I mean, it didn't get a strike. It just meant that they monetized that video for that company. That's all that meant. So, but yeah, I want to dance with somebody. That's not Cyndi Lauper. I don't know why I sang that. I was it's been in my mind for a long time. Let's see. Don Hudson says, I'll get behind the Land Down Under requests. No remake. I love both Tron movies, says Lil. That same guy. The new one was okay. The CGI was not very good. for the characters, that's for sure. RT says, I didn't mind the second Tron. I don't know how the chick left the world, though. Yeah. Dahaza says, you shot the invisible swords. Great! You shot the invisible swordsman. We fired up. We both fired up. Let's see. Brad Noble says, man, cannot wait to talk Zane books. I can't either, so cannot wait to finish it. Lost Soldier 212 says, oh, Looper talked about why Skyscraper bombed yesterday and dared to say that like Star Wars, people are having Rock fatigue. I had to call them out on it. Yeah, I mean, I love The Rock. I mean, I'll go see anything that he's in. Again, I'm so tired of them using this word fatigue because they don't understand what it means. It's like, you say that word. I don't think it means what you think it means. See, Arne says, soy sauce, main ingredients, soybeans, wheat, salt, and water. Oh, so it is made with soy. Oh, no. I can't have soy sauce ever again. RT says, soy sauce is made from soybeans. Interesting. Brad Noble says, prequel age was fueled by Zahn. Arne says, but it's not the only main ingredient. Okay, gotcha. RT says, mystery solved. Thanks. Yes, thank you very much for looking that up. Lost Soldier says, does the actor actually do the Chewie roar? Yeah, I don't think he does. Brad Noble says, Drizzt needed the Zahn books. Let's see. Jazz Star says, was looking forward to a third Tron film, but they put the brakes on it. What's worse, the one thing I wanted more than anything else was to see Alan meet Tron. Yeah, I mean, there could have been so many really cool things, but I think the second movie just was so polarizing. It just wasn't enough for them to pull anything together for a third film. RT says, no human can roar like that. Yeah, I agree. Max says, personally, I think Finn should have escaped and found where Luke and Rey were so that he could have been trained as a Jedi. That could have been really cool. Again, there's so many really cool things they could have done because as far as the characters are individually, there's nothing inherently flawed about those characters. I mean, besides Rey being a Mary Sue, but they could easily explain that or at least have a training montage. Like, it's not very hard to fix those problems. But yeah, to have Finn come in and be Force sensitive, that could be really damn cool. Arnie says, Canobite didn't feel like it belonged to the Star Wars universe. It really didn't. Brad Noble says, growing up in the 90s was great. Was great. Dude, 90s television movies was great. I'm sorry. I still love it. Let's see. Derek James Raven says, Last Jedi wasn't memorable at all, so I can't think of the worst moment. Hamill hasn't learned to act in 40 years. Oh, but he's a great Luke. Come on, man. Jeff Cotto says, Droids was released after Return of the Jedi. Came on Saturday mornings on ABC. Nice. Okay. RT says, hey, don't knock Hamill. He's a good actor. You should watch him in the big red one. I also like him as a comedic actor. He was really, really funny in Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. He played a guy named Cockknocker, and it was fantastic. So he has really great comedic timing. And also, I don't think anyone's going to attack his voice acting. His voice acting is damn near flawless. It's so good. Jedi Starship says, Bruce Boxelnider, the actor who created Tron, his user. Brad Noble says, wow, sweet pup, buy her for $1. Hell no. Brad Noble, get out of here, you damn troll. I'm not selling her, especially not for $1. Are you kidding me? Lobster says, I hated DJ, which sucks because Benicio del Toro is one of my favorite characters. I agree. I totally agree. Again, DJ could have been a cool character. I love Benicio del Toro, but they ruined him. Just like so many characters, they ruined any potential. Casey Clark says, that's true about droids. I was able to get today 2 movies on DVD. I was pretty excited to find it. Nice. Super says, worst part of Last Jedi for me was undoubtedly Leia Poppins. Yeah, I can feel that. Not that any part of the movie was any better, but because I literally threw my hands and winced in my chair when I saw it. I know it's one of those things where it's like, really? River, why are you being a nuisance? 70B says, puppies. Yes, indeed. Derek says, he says lines as if he's just reading from the script at the table. Zero effort. Yeah, I can understand that. Stop ruining things, River, please. I love you, but stop. Just go to sleep. Let's see. Don says, uh-oh, Asgard has, we have a problem. What happened? What's the problem? Leia Pops is crazy, says Arnie. Love River and Willow. Oh, thanks, 70B. I love them too. Greta says, so cute. Thank you. RT says, yeah, I really didn't take the DJ characters. He didn't feel the fit. Yeah, he really did not fit at all. Brad Nolan says, force kiss is assault. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that was a bad part too. Well, that same guy says, dogs are more. Arnie says, I like the Yoda scene though. I did too, because they used Puppet Yoda, and that was really cool. That was a really cool scene. Donald says, just need to refresh. Okay, good to hear. Brad Noble says, Odin dog fights, get your money in. Shut up, Brad. Shut up. You mean the guy with the red hat on? Who looks like him? Meant to say. Mike Sexton says John Kasdan looks like he tweets compliments to porn stars. Oh no. Brad says Odin. No one cares. Skip him. Skip him. Skip him. Jay Starcher says no, he's the human of the glasses. Brandon says Steph runs the best dog fight ring in West Texas. No, she does not. Stephanie would never do that. Stephanie loves dogs and loves animals. There's no way she would ever do that. Mex says, I don't care about the comments, especially not my own. RT says, I have no idea who you're talking about. Not seen Tron for a while. Kidding, says Brad. RT says, I don't care if we have to stay here all night. No comment shall go left unresponded to. Never leave. I tried. I'm so sorry that I fell behind on that. I'm so sorry. RD says, I've read Tron. I've already seen Tron. I just haven't seen it for a while. Brandon says, I got West Texas from that pure chat. RT says, Ryan Gosling should be in Tron. Lost Soldier says, Tron was the last good Disney movie, in my opinion. Really? So you mean original Tron? There have been some good Disney films. I mean, I was a big fan of the 90s Disney musicals, personally. So I would say that. Interesting Rose, interesting. SJW, securing justice wrong, said Jeff Cotto. Says, are you getting nervous about your stream with Geeky Gamer Star? I am. I am getting nervous. I will say I am definitely nervous because it's my first time really having a face-to-face with Jeremy. So that's kind of nerve-wracking because he's awesome and he's just really cool. And so that's the reason why I think it's going to be okay, is because he's such a cool guy. And I feel like that we'll get along on a lot of things. And I think that's going to be really fun, but definitely nervous because it's going to be a lot more people than I'm used to. And it's going to be just, I don't know. It's going to be kind of chaotic. And so I just hope that I can bring what I always try and bring, which is just myself. And as long as I can continue to be myself, even for a different group of people, then I think I'll be okay. So thank you very much, though. I'm definitely getting nervous about it for sure. Let's see. Super says, I have a mosquito in my house and it's eating me alive. Today is a bad day. Just thought you should know that. I'm so sorry, Super. I hate when mosquitoes get caught in the house, because then you feel like they're just attacking you nonstop. And there's just one little thing in your gigantic house. You feel like they can go anywhere. They can even try to escape, but instead they're going to attack me. And it's just silly. Let's see. Raven says, the current crop of actors don't have the gravitas to handle Casablanca. Damn right. Agree. Will Last Name Guy says, gotta get some Netflix in before bed. Thanks, everyone. Good night. Well, thanks, Will Last Name Guy, for joining once again. Always great to have you here, and definitely go get some Netflix. Sammy B says, Alien is not here. I hope he wasn't beamed back to his planet. Me too. I've missed Alien. Alien used to always come in with like just the awesome responses, and he's been gone. So I really hope that he's okay. See, Richie Rich says Comcast can't afford to make a counter offer. Their $64 billion offer would have made them the highest debt corporation in the world. But again, they can make an offer even though they know that Disney's just going to outbid them. That's the reason why I think they're going to offer higher so that Disney will outbid, and then from that point forward, we'll see Disney make an even higher offer, and then they're going to lose out on more money. See, Arne says, Force Awakens, I didn't see anything technical wrong with it from being a New Hope rehash, but it's a Star Wars film I've seen only twice, and the third I couldn't get through. Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think The Force Awakens, for me, set up a lot of really cool things. Oh, boy. Guys, we might have our... It smells like poop, guys. I don't see it. Let's not be... Oh, no. Well, guys, this is going to be a first for you and for me, too, and I hope that the chat doesn't go away, but one of my dogs pooped in the room, so you get to see me pick up some poop. Sorry about that, but I'll be right back, guys. Please let everyone in the chat know what's going on. Come on, pups. Oh, man, oh, man, oh, man. Oh, no. Why? Man. I'm not going to show it to y'all, but oh, we were doing so well. We lost one person. 18 people. Y'all are still watching this? Oh my goodness gracious. Again, I'm sorry if I can't catch up back in the chat again because my phone's turning off. And so, okay, I just need to spray really quick and then I'll jump back on, guys. The things I do for the love of my puppies. Oh man, 20 people are watching now. Oh man. Lord. All right, just put my pups up so now I don't have to worry about them anymore. But oh man, well, thank y'all for staying in this long. Oh my goodness, I bet that's the first time that has happened for you guys. So let's see, how high can I go? As I said, guys, unfortunately, I lost a lot of the chat once again. This is really starting to frustrate me, guys. All right, so this is 10:08 p.m. Brad Noble. Sorry again, if your comment got lost, please feel free to repeat it. I'm so sorry about this. This usually doesn't happen, but when you have dogs, things can go crazy. All right. Anyway, Brad Noble says, I'll just attack Jeremy all night. Sounds good. Arnie says, and when they blew up the whole New Republic, it was so rushed, like they wanted to get rid of the plot line ASAP. Super says 90s and early 2000s Disney was the bomb, is the bomb. 2010s Disney is a mistake. I agree. I think that what they did in the early 90s, especially, and also the 2000s was really good. Again, I love the musicals from the 90s, especially. But yeah, definitely, Disney has definitely not put out some really good content for a while. RT says it all felt rushed, but that's modern movie making for you. Again, everything is rushed. They want to try and get it out as fast as possible. They want to try and make as much money as possible. And unfortunately, it just leads to really bad, really bad films. Lost Soldier says, I hate mosquitoes too, and the ones here in Alaska are the size of birds. Odin was right. Yeah, I mean, I guess, as I said, when we went there, that was like the one thing that we read into, and I hate mosquitoes too, and it's just ridiculous. See, Mike Sexton says, hope you all have a good night. These sweet nunchucks won't practice on themselves. It was fun, Odin. Hashtag yellow belt karate master. Well, actually, fun fact about me, I'm actually a secondary black belt senior in Taekwondo. I took it for several years. Haven't taken it in a very long time, probably in almost a decade at this point. But I appreciate you nonetheless. So thank you very much. And I also got to learn how to use nunchucks and samurai swords as well. So it was really fun. RT says, yeah, I'm thinking of how he's always in neon colored films, Blade Runner or Drive. Okay, so I guess you're talking about, oh, what's the actor? Sorry, there's so much I've missed in this chat. I'm so sorry. Jason Clark says, make sure you skip your meds tomorrow. I want a supercharged out of his mind talking 1,000 miles a minute. Hey, you know what? Don't worry about it, because I have not taken meds since high school, because that was when I was able to learn how to be able to focus on just enough to get through school. So don't worry. I will be just as energetic as I always am on the stream tomorrow. And yeah, so thank you very much, Jason Clark. I appreciate that. Let's see. Oh, great, says RTE. Oh, here we go. So Brad Noble, poo. Lost Soldier says, I'm going to bid against Disney as well just to drive the price up. Do it. Lost Soldier, poo. 70B. Oh, no, poo, poo. She went on the rug. She actually went. So I actually have like a massaging chair. And so there was one piece there, and then there was one piece right next to the windowsill. Oh, man. RT says, you probably should have let the dogs out. The dog was anxious. I did, and then they ran right back inside because it was wet outside, and they don't like when it's wet. Lost Soldier with the poo emoji. Brad Noble says Ryan Johnson's proud. I guarantee it because he has a lot of connection to what I just picked up. That's for sure. I just picked up a Ryan Johnson. That's me all say about that. Arnie says, and look, the original trilogy is not nostalgia based. I was born with the prequels and saw the original trilogy pretty late. There's magic in those films regarding the age. Empire Strikes Back is possibly my best film ever. I do love it. As far as Star Wars films, Empire Strikes Back is my favorite Star Wars film for sure. And I will say it's the despecialized edition specifically, because if you don't know about the despecialized editions, they are the original films without all the added nonsense that George Lucas put in the recuts. And it's fantastic. It's so well done. It's called Harmy's Despecialized Edition. It takes a lot to get all the files downloaded and uploaded to a Blu-ray, but it's really worth the time because they look awesome. 70B says it happens. Damn right it does. Dallas says, oh, talk amongst yourselves. Yeah, pretty much. Dicer says, Odin, happy poopa, happy poops, buddy. Yeah, thank you very much. Brad will show it. Hell no, I'm not going to show it. RD says, Ryan Johnson claiming ownership for the poop. Sounds like it. Nickel News says, the best live stream ever. Well, I am glad that made your day. Jeff Gatto says she took a Last Jedi smell his work. Damn right. Super says that they were so relaxed by Odin's voice. They just let it all go. And Brad Noble do it. No, I'm so glad I didn't do it. Sammy B says, I got the poo on me. Jedi says 2 dogs and 1 poo. Yep. Who was it? Was it Willow or River? Let me hear your vote in the comments below. RT says, Ryan Johnson just released a release statement. Proud of my latest work. Richard is the dog made a Last Jedi. Damn right. Leva Lion says, came during popcorn break. Yeah, it's because my dog pooped. Lawson says, anyone else seen the BLR poop video? I don't think so. Jason Clark. I love those emojis. Valhazza says, all in all, a lively chat. Yeah, this is I mean, the fact that y'all were able to stay here, the fact that when I came back, we had more people watching, it's just a testament to you guys because y'all are amazing. Digital poo, Brad Noble. I'm never going to give digital poo, only to the Last Jedi. No, it's not popcorn break. At least it's not Bantha poo. That's very good. I mean, yeah, that's true because that would be gigantic. Luckily, I was able to handle it. Jedi Star says, I've got a fever and the only prescription is more poop. Oh my, Lethal Lightning. Yep. Don't forget to hit the like button before you crap emoji. Yes. So again, we have 20 people liking. Please hit that like button. 70B, let me know the like ratio. Let's see how we're doing. Jeff Scott says she took a Snoke. Aromatherapy such as a starship. No, not at all. It smelled awful. Law Soldier, ain't that some crap? You're damn right. Smash the poo, says Brad Noble. Lethal Lighting, yeah, that was such a great time to get back for sure. Jason Clark says your dog took a Ryan Johnson on the floor. Yep. Tallahassee says ode to poo. Jake M, your dog just gave an accurate review of Last Jedi. I know we were talking about Last Jedi, and so either River or Willow was like, oh, I know what I think about that film, and then she, left me her review on the floor to pick up. Jay Chimpansky, what's up, dude? It's been a very long time since you've been back. Hail Odin, what's up, Jay? Sorry that you came in when I wasn't on screen. 70B, this is so funny. Puppy story. She took a Snoke. Brad Noble, wow, it took a Ryan Johnson. Sorry, I know no puppy should ever have to take a Ryan Johnson. Random game user, hi, what's up, Random? Welcome back to the chat. A Star Wars story. Dog poop. A Star Wars story. Super says, I love how every comment in this chat right now is the Last Jedi joke. It's so great. Lost Soldier, oh poop. Ouch, bro. Donald Hudson says, so I've always wondered, all father, does poo freeze to the bifrost? Guys, I'm going to say this right now. Every person that's still in this chat right now, you all get digital cookies. So please, Valkyrie, please just shower digital cookies on every person that stayed in this chat, that stayed with me while I picked up dog crap and have been making Last Jedi jokes for the entire time. Digital cookies for everyone, guys. Y'all are amazing. I love y'all so much. Darth Scipio, nothing rattles Odin. I'm kind of rattled right now. I'm not gonna lie. I just have the giggles. Jason Clark, don't worry. I'd say Ryan Johnson every morning. Nothing to be embarrassed about. Random game user, sorry I wasn't here. Midnight's Edge had me on the channel on voice with the. Oh, nice. That's really cool. That's so cool. Definitely, yeah, Random. Definitely go check out her channel. She's awesome. Donald Hudson, gonna slow up to let Odin catch up. Thank you. Say I'm only like 7 minutes behind. I'm not too far behind. Giles Starship says, can someone scoop it up for Kathleen Kennedy and plate it for her? She won't know the difference. Caviar, pate, poop. You get the idea. Brad Noble, random. Yeah, dude, random is fantastic. And it's going back to Kathleen Kennedy. I think what I should do is I should go get the poop and I should put it in like an envelope and then I should send it to Lucasfilm saying, this is what I thought about The Last Jedi, just to see if they get the message. Super says, Atlantis Lost Empire is one of the best Disney films ever made. I love Atlantis. I love it so much. It's one of those like underrated Disney films too. It's fantastic. Lidl says, random. All right, talking to random. Yeah, definitely go check out her content. Like, she's fantastic. Jay says, thanks for the info, Steph. I think one of my neighbor's dogs pooped on my balcony. Something sticks over here. On your balcony? Oh, that's awful. At least it's outside, I guess. Silver lining, maybe. Brandon says, I find it hard to use the alphabet. Super says, what time is the Geeks and Gamers stream tomorrow? 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. So thanks for asking. Not fun at all, Jay Jabansky. Brandon says, did Odin just say, I'm dog poo? You might as well be. Brad Noble, fight time. Hey, Brad. Hey, you want to go? Let's go. Let's go right now. Brandon says, thanks. Sorry for all the trolling. Yeah, I mean, it's on Twitter today, especially. It was really bad. Donald Hudson votes River. Stephanie votes Willow. Trolling is fun. Yeah, Brad thinks it's fun. All right, so I got a River and a Willow vote. All right, so if I had to guess, I would say it's probably River, because Willow is pretty good about doing her business outside, but River is very stubborn. So she would be willing to hold it to let it at another time. Let's see. Super says, George Lucas's edits to the original trilogy were so dumb. There was a screenshot I saw from episode 4 where all George Lucas added on the screen was a rock, a literal rock. Yeah, there's one where it's it's when R2-D2 is hiding from the their name escaped me right now, but R2-D2 is supposed to be hiding, and literally all they did was add like a rock, a digital rock, to cut off half of the view. And it was just like, why was that necessary? It wasn't. So definitely go check those out. Mech says, I had to step away for a few minutes and I come back to poo. Yes. 70B says, 21 likes and 19 watching. Awesome. Sounds great. Awesome. Great ratio. But if you haven't liked already, please do, especially for the dog poo. Like for the dog poo. Because you do not get to see a YouTuber pick up dog poo ever. Very, very often, I would say, on a live stream. Let's see. Random says, it's all good. You're doing great. No, Random, you're doing fantastic. Well done, sisters. Brad Noble. Lidl says, did the dog subvert your expectations? Yes. Let's see. Arne says, I liked AOTC. Why? Because I saw it as a kid and didn't care about the plot. I just loved Coruscant and the music, bro. Yeah, I mean, I think the prequels have something to them. I definitely think there's a nostalgic element to them as well. And I find them more funny than anything else. I don't find a lot of value in some of the things that it does. I do really like some of the characters. I do really like some of the actors. I mean, again, it gave us Ewan McGregor's Obi-Wan Kenobi, which I thought was fantastic. It, put Liam Neeson into the franchise as well. I would have loved to have seen a Liam Neeson spinoff, like an origin story with him. That would have been really cool. Let's see. Brandon says, what do you feed them? Kathleen Kennedy. Stephanie B is making it rain cookies. Damn right. Jedi Starship says poop. Leave a like and says digital cookies all around. Damn right. Jeff Gatto cookies. Lost Soldier says, if she craps again, this will be episode 9. Don't worry, they're up for the night. So Jedi Starship says it's raining digital cookies. Damn right. Let's see. Donald Hudson says, I don't think dog poo can subvert your expectations. They're pretty straightforward. Unlike Last Jedi, dog poop is very straightforward and is always consistent. Jeff Cotto is excited for his digital cookie. Brad Noble says the last Chuck looked into like a rancor. Donald Hudson is numbing on his cookies. Random game user, I appreciate it. Yes, I love those emojis so much. Sammy B says, even Brad gets a cookie. Yes, even Brad gets a cookie because at least he stuck with us this long. So yes, Brad does get a cookie. Jeff Cotto says she needs to drop Last Jedi more often. Meg says, speaking of cookies, I actually baked some earlier today. No offense, but mine are more delicious. Well, because yours are real and you can taste them, I can understand that. But I make a delicious edible cookie dough. So it's not made with eggs or anything. So there's no danger in eating it. And it's so good. So dangerous because it's cookie dough. And I love it so much. But that sounds really good. I love cookies, as you can tell. Arnie says, I always remember Obi-Wan versus Django. Game user says, thanks. No, thank you. Brad Noble says, C-Steph won't give me a poop cookie. Random, you are awesome as well. Brad Noble, racist. Brandon says, Red, your channel is great. Keep it going. Damn right. Absolutely. Let's see. Lethal Lightning says the worst thing they added was Vader saying no when he kills Darth Sidious. Yeah. Not needed at all. That was such a bad thing. Brandon says that was the first Odin. Yep. Let's see. Donald has this at 20 watching, 24 likes. Awesome. Sounds good. I always appreciate it. Arnie says, yes. Have you noticed that prequels seem like they belong to to another universe? The aesthetics look and feel so different. I wish they would have kept a similar style. I agree. Again, there's some things that are same, but there's also a lot of things that are different too. And I understand that too. I definitely understand that. Again, I have my problems with the prequels for a lot of different reasons, but I can see how that could be one for sure. Brad Noble says, random, make your Cthulhu's poop harpies. Lee the Lightning says, unpopular opinion, I liked Hayden as Anakin. It was just Lucas' bad dialogue. Yeah, I mean, but it was also not great acting either. So again, I think that he's fine. I really do. I think that he's fine as Anakin for the most part. I mean, at this point, obviously, I don't see anyone else as a young Anakin. I don't think it was enough to put him into Return of the Jedi. I thought that was one of the worst things they could have done because it kind of just crapped on the person that was Darth Vader, was the original Darth Vader. Like to take his 1 second of being on screen, not having a burnt face, I thought was really just kind of crappy to that person. So I agree with you though. I respect your opinion on that one. I disagree, but I respect that opinion. Let's see. Leaf Line says, oh, by the way, the Chuck Wendig Darth Vader comic was good. Really? Really? Brad says, I'm honored with this cookie. You better be, because you're not going to get another one anytime soon, Brad. Go back into your hole. Super says, aside from the Han shot first scene, the worst edits, although probably have to be digital insert of Jabba and the monster reveal on Hoth that killed the drama. I agree. I definitely agree. Those are really bad. Random says, my grandmother made the best yellow cake chocolate chip cookies. Oh my goodness, it's like a mixture of all my favorite things. It sounds so good. It sounds so damn good. Brandon says blonde brownies. Those are good too. Arne says, I saw Return of the Revenge of the Sith in the cinema when I was a teen, and it impacted me. The scene, Anakin, you are my brother, Anakin. I just love I have the high ground, and then it just goes against everything with the high ground that was established in the first film. Random says Doomcock has more Cthulhu plushies than me. He's got a cute baby size one. Nice. Lethal says I love the Padme rumination scene, best scene in the prequels in my opinion. For me, the whole Padme thing, the whole Padme was ruined when she went, Annie, you're breaking my heart. Yummy cookie for Jason Clark. Lost Soldier says sequel trilogy makes me appreciate the prequels more. Definitely, that is absolutely true. Jeff Cotter says Asgardian jargon. Donald Hudson says they made him too whiny. I agree. Random says now I want yellow cake chocolate cookies. I want them too. So please bake me some, or bake the community some, and somehow send it over the mail. I don't know if they'll still be good, but it sounds delicious. Brad Noble says, time to fight Odin for cookies. The battle starts. Good luck with that, because you're not getting any more. Let's see. Super says, want to hear something insane I just found out? Atlantis, The Last Empire only has a 49% on Rotten Tomatoes, and a fan score isn't much better. These people are crazy. I can understand that to an extent because it was definitely one of the more obscure Disney films. It didn't really follow along with the same style that a lot of the other Disney films were at the time, and also the musicals were so popular during that time. I feel like it kind of fell on the wayside. But yeah, I agree. I still don't think that means that it deserves to have bad ratings because it's so good. It really is. Let's see. Rat Boy, this chat is giving me diabetes, so much sugar. What's up, Rat Boy? Welcome back to the chat. Mech says, have you had a chance to try the Syracuse salt potatoes or my dessert suggestion? No, I read the email. I sent it to my wife, and so we might be trying out that recipe in the near future. So both that and the dessert. I still need to look at the dessert, but it sounded really good. Brando says, right on. Rat Boy. Lightning says, yep, it just shows maybe if Chuck just shut his mouth and let his work speak for himself. Don't get me wrong, Aftermath is trash. So yeah, I mean, and that's for anyone. I mean, if he was polite, if he understood that there were people who did not like his work or other Star Wars work and just, accepted it and said, hey, I understand where you're coming from. I think that people would, even when he wrote something bad, would say, well, at least he's a good guy. I mean, but at this point now, he's just asking for people to really just focus on his work and just tear him apart. Jedi Starship says, another soundbite offense Star Wars did was the crate dragon sound effect Obi-Wan made. The first one was the best. The third is the worst. Yeah. I don't like how they changed that either. Brad Noble says, sumo style. MMA style, says Brad. Jay Chimpanski says the opening scene of Revenge of the Sith was awesome. The opening shot of the battle space was just incredible. I agree. There were some really, really cool shots. I will agree with you there. Jeff Cotto says An American Werewolf in London Classic and The Monster Squad. Brian Noble says, Steph, I learned it from you. Lethal Lighting says Rotten Tomatoes means nothing to me, but I understand it has an impact on the movie scene. Yeah, so I agree. I have a mixed relationship with Rotten Tomatoes. I think that you have to understand how to read it. You can't just look at one score over the other. You have to look at both together, because each film tells a narrative. Each film tells a story, and you have to understand how to read that story if you're going to understand whether the film is good or not. And so that's the reason why I always look at both scores, and I also look at the reviews themselves, and I look at the critic consensus also tells a lot. The very fact that in Solo, it told you in the critic consensus to keep your expectations at the door told me that this film was probably not very good. And it, of course, delivered. Don Hudson says, fear is the mind killer. The cookies must flow. Mex Han shot first. Yes, he did. And in my edition, in the Blu-ray that I own, again, I have the entire set too, but in the original trilogy that I will actually put on to watch, Han shoots first. And it's awesome. It's so damn cool. Brandon says, pastry fighting is real. Lethal says, Odin completely agree about Chuck Wendig. Yeah, I mean, it really is. It's true. And again, if he was just, if he made a culprit and just said, hey, this is my bad, I was off base, I think a lot more people would be willing to give him more constructive criticism than just, you suck. But if you're going to be a troll that's going to be an ass, then you deserve just simple responses like, you suck. Let's see. Arne says there were a lot of good scenes in Revenge of the Sith. It's definitely the best. Like, that's why Revenge of the Sith is the only prequel that is not like in my bottom. I'm going to be honest. My bottom two films, as far as like the quality of the films are concerned, are Phantom Menace and Attack of the Clones, because the dialogue is just so bad and the CGI just does not hold up. I can't lift it any higher. And again, I don't like The Last Jedi. I don't defend it. I hate it. It's so bad. It's just has so many holes. Solo is a C-level film for sure. The reason why I don't give a grade to Last Jedi is because I feel like I need to see it again to really give it a full grade. It's obviously not going to be very good. I think it's probably even going to be worse than Solo, but that's the reason why the first two prequel films just, I can't justify it. But Revenge of the Sith, on the other hand, is the strongest by far. And that's the reason why I can put that one higher on my list. I did a podcast episode. If you're interested in my actual official list, you can check out odinsmovieblog.blogspot.com, or also just look up Odin's Movie Blog on iTunes or Google Play or Stitcher. I actually have a podcast that I started doing before my YouTube channel. I've fallen away from it, so I'm planning on doing another podcast episode soon when I have time. But I did an entire episode for May the 4th where I broke down all my rankings for all of the films that I've seen. So if you're interested in that, go check that out. Let's see. Brad Noble says no one talks about Donut Club. Jedi Starship says that's right. Mex Han had the blaster ground. The blaster ground, yes. Brad Noble says second rule is pie. Don says first rule of Donut Club: don't talk about Donut Club. Bring the donuts. Arne says, why is Last Jedi like 90% Rotten Tomatoes? Are the critics paid? Because of that, I know nothing about films. I can objectively say why it was bad. Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't say that they were necessarily paid. I think it's that they're just on board with the mission that, they understand what Lucasfilm's trying to do, and they were just on board with it. I really do think that was what the case was, because when you look at the discrepancy, it's very rare that you see that large of a discrepancy unless there's something problematic with the film itself. And so that's just a case where the critics are just, it's kind of like in that South Park episode where everyone's just sniffing their own farts. That's what Rotten Tomatoes critics can be like sometimes. And I think that they were like, oh, this is just so subversive, and just because it's subversive means it's good, when in reality, just being subversive doesn't mean that it's automatically good. But I think a lot of those critics automatically think something is good if it's subversive. Jedi Starship says the critics are shills. That's very possible. Jeff Cotto says M was praying, and Siskel and Egert just gave Last Jedi 2 thumbs down the first time they agreed on a film rating. Meg says, I can't guarantee this, but I think that when you eventually finish the Darth Plagueis novel, you'll appreciate the fandom menace more. I hope that. I really hope so. That'd be really cool. I don't think it's going to take away my problems with the dialogue. It's not going to change my problems with the acting in the film too. So that's one of my problems with it. So see, Brad Noble says cake is a dream. Oh, Lethal Lightning gave his list. He says Empire Strikes Back is number 1. A New Hope is second. Rogue One, I wouldn't put that high on my list. Revenge of the Sith, Return of the Jedi, I'd put Return of the Jedi higher. Force Awakens, Solo, AOTPC, TP. Some of these I forget what they were. Phantom Menace is second to last. Last Jedi is last. And I guess that's a Clone Wars? Attack of the Clones. That's what it is. Yeah. I respect that list. I obviously would put the 2 prequels at the bottom too. Last Jedi would not be much higher than that, and also Rogue One would not be that high either. I was just not a fan of Rogue One. Brad Noble says cake is a dream. Jason Clark says gotta go. Everyone, phone is down 3%. Gonna die. See you tomorrow, Odin. Good luck. Well, thank you very much, Jason Clark. I will be looking out for your name in the live chat. So thank you for joining us, and definitely charge that phone. There is no cake, says Donald Hudson. Arnie says I had Rotten Tomatoes in high regard. I mean, yeah, I still do to an extent. On certain films, I can trust them, but there's definitely certain films where you look at, like, if you know that there's a film that's going to have a political agenda to it, you have to hold your expectations at the door, because you know that they're going to like the film for certain reasons more than others. Jedi Starship says The Last Jedi doesn't even make my list. Lethal Lightning, damn. Cake for all, says Brad, or pie. Pie is pretty good. Ratboy says I've been in and out tonight. Did anyone see J.J. Abrams' World War II zombie trailer? Overlord is name of the movie. I have not seen that. Donald Hudson says, you know what I say to Mucus Films? Let them eat cake. Yep, let them eat that damn cake. Brad Noble says all cakes will be returned to Asgardians. Pie is mine, says Brad Noble. Let's see. Lead Line says the Plagueis novels make you appreciate the events of the Phantom Menace, maybe not the film. Okay, yeah. So if it expands the story, then I'm probably gonna love it, because I love when stories when stories get expanded like that. But yeah, I mean, it's not gonna change the actual film itself. Jay Chimpanzee says Attack of the Clones is better than The Last Jedi. I don't know. I mean, I don't like sand because it's coarse and rough and irritating, and it gets everywhere. Like, I just can't forgive that line, or the I truly, deeply love you. Like, there's just so many bad lines in that film. Now, don't get me wrong. Which one would I rather watch? Definitely Attack of the Clones. Why? Because I think it's hilariously bad. So what's more entertaining? Attack of the Clones, for sure. Better movie? Last Jedi is a better made film. I'm sorry. Like, just cinematography and the look of the film, I can't do it, man. Let's see. Jedi Starship says, was just thinking again just the other day about the Rey Darkside cave scene. She wasn't tested in any way. Snack, crackle, pop, touch the mirror. Yeah, I know. I mean, when you saw, and I'm sure it was calling back to the cave on Dagobah that Luke finds in that would have been Empire Strikes Back. And so in that one, he actually fights with a lightsaber against Darth Vader, and there's a really powerful moment. And then you get with, you get with Rey, you just get, and then you get the whole, you're his niece. It's just, it's silly. Jimmy Carter, welcome Jimmy Carter to the chat. We have a president in the chat, everybody. Why don't you like Rogue One? Well, as you know, with Rogue One, just like with Solo, there were a lot of production issues, and I feel that you could see those production issues on the screen. The pacing is kind of all over the place. Some of the acting is questionable as well. As much as I really like Forrest Whitaker, I did not like his performance in that film. I thought his character was very weak. I felt like his character was very underdeveloped as well. There was also problematic. Some of the characters, like, their arcs were just all over the place. Like, the main guy, I forgot the name of his character, but the main one, other than Jyn Erso, the one who helped her out a lot, I forget his name, but his character arc to me was just off, because this guy helps him out, is looking for help, and then he shoots him. And then they never really come back to that moment, but it happened. And I was like, you murdered somebody. And I can just never let that moment go. So it's just because there were a lot of narrative problems with the film. That's the main reason why there were a lot of narrative problems. So that's the main reason why I had problems with it. The narrative, the pacing, it had a lot of issues to it. Let's see. Arne says, I think when you are writing a story, you have to let the story flow and kind of let it tell itself. When you overthink it and start thinking, let's add humor here, let's add a death here. Yeah, I mean, then at that point, it just falls over the place. You're absolutely right about that. Stephanie B says he's catching up to us. I'm sure y'all will fix that. But yeah, do start to slow down a little bit, because I'm gonna have to start wrapping things up in a little bit, in like a few minutes. Brad Noble says no one likes Rogue One. Yeah, I feel like it's the one that causes the most division among fans. I feel like it's definitely the one that has more positive than negative. I mean, obviously, when you think about divisive films, The Last Jedi is definitely divisive, but I think more people hate it now at this point than like it. I think that it's the opposite percentage wise for Rogue One. I'm in that large portion that still doesn't like it. Not the majority, I would say, but definitely a large portion. Super says, I read somewhere that maybe one of the reasons critics like The Last Jedi is because they like to think about movies individually instead of the context of a film series. That could be it too. And, you could definitely praise that, saying they take one film at a time. but also at the same time, you could see it as being kind of closed-minded in a lot of way. Donald Hudson says, that's what Overlord is. Zombies are overdone. Arnie says, let's subvert the expectations here. They come out abominations. Brandon says, Cobbler changes the game. Brandon says, Cobbler and ice cream. Lethal Lightning said, for me personally, Rogue One was the kind of Star Wars film I'd always wanted to see. And I hear that too. I have a really good friend who liked it because it was a war film and he loves history and he loves World War II especially. And so it was a war film in his mind. It was a Star Wars war film. And that's the reason why I still need to go back to watch it again. I've only seen it once, I think, at this point, maybe twice. So I would definitely be willing to watch it again to try and see if I have a different interpretation after the fact, but I don't think that's going to change the pacing and character issues. DeBrando says this is a side scroller. Chimpanski says the love scenes were cringy, but no one watches Star Wars for love scenes. Just saying. Very true. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Especially in the first two films. Arnie says, I mean, the second film especially. Arnie says, I liked Rogue One, but honestly, I don't remember any of the characters apart from what they look like. Again, that's the other reason why it's a film that I feel like it's just forgettable, and I think that's not a good thing for a Star Wars film. Lee Lighting says, Jyn Erso is a character I can very much relate to. Oh wait, I'm a white male. I know, right? That's not allowed. You're not allowed to relate to someone that's not your gender. I mean, that's the whole concept of what's going on now. But yeah, I mean, I like Jyn Erso. Jyn Erso is a really good character. I do like her character. Super says, but that makes no sense to me because one of the most important things in fantasy is consistency. If there's nothing to compare to, everything can just be considered subjective. So he's talking about just going back to the comparison of film criticism, saying that he heard somewhere that the Rotten Tomatoes critics especially just focus on one film at a time. But you're right. You can't just leave it in a vacuum, and especially since so many of these same reviewers in other film franchises will compare them to other things. It just doesn't, it's not consistent of them to ignore that when it comes to Star Wars. Somebody B says, the part I loved in Rogue One was when Vader showed up. Oh my goodness. Yeah. So if there's one part, again, are there good parts of the movie? Absolutely. The best being the Vader scene. But again, the Vader scene, I believe, was one of the scenes they added on in film at the last minute during all the production issues and all the reshoots. I think they added that scene on because they realized we don't have an iconic scene. Oh, wait, let's bring Vader in and let him whip some ass. And it was great. That was awesome. Brownwell says, remember everyone dying, then Vader. Let's see. Rat Boy says, don't forget it's Comic-Con weekend. Shyamalan Glass trailer is Friday. Looking to hear your first impression. I remember you writing that, telling me that. I have that still written down. So I do have that written down from you. Glass, July 20th. Let's see if I can get it up there. No, my light's still gonna Glass, July 20th. So I do have that note still. So thank you for reminding me, Rat Boy. Cannot wait. Cannot wait. Brandon says, up to the chatters now. Odin wants to catch you. Damn right. Lost Source says, I like, let's see. Rogue One, K2 was great. K2 was one of my favorite characters. K2SO was if you want to talk about an awesome new droid, K2SO. But guess what happens? He dies. And we don't get to see K2SO ever anymore. Again, that's what happens when they droid that. I mean, I feel like that's like one of the saddest parts of the movie for most people was when K2SO died, compared to Solo, when L3 died, everyone cheered because L3 sucked. Jedi Starship says, Rogue One was good. It put me in a slightly uncomfortable place because it showed a different side of to the rebellion. Then again, it didn't apply to everyone. I agree. Richard Rich says, have you watched Obi-Wan Has PTSD on YouTube? If not, it is 5 minutes of pure awesome. Well, please send that link to me because I would love to check that out. That sounds great. Jimmy Carter says, in my opinion, it's the most original of the Star Wars films, especially the last 30 minutes, I guess. But also keep in mind, it's based off of it's hard to say that it's original. I mean, it is because it's creating characters that were not established before, but it's also within a time frame that had already been previous. It's hard. It's hard. Donald Hudson says, good night, Asgardians. Much love to you all. Well, good night, Donald Hudson. Thank you so much. All right, says, Rogue One has a more serious tone. I don't think they get what Star Wars is. I understand that. Nickel Noodles says, Geeks and Gamers, own it, Odin. Good night, y'all. Well, thank you, Nickel Noodles. Thank you for joining us tonight. And yes, so if you don't know, tomorrow I'm going to be 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. I'm going to be on the Geeks and Gamers channel. I'm going to be a part of his live stream. He usually goes for a little over an hour and 20 minutes. I don't know how long we're going to go, but it should be a good time. So please be out, support me. I would greatly appreciate it. To see y'all's names in the chat will definitely make me feel a lot better. So please definitely do that because I can't wait to look out for y'all. Mex says, as much as I don't like Rogue One personally, I will admit that I would rather see that film over any other Star Wars film made by Lucasfilm since George Lucas gave it up to Disney. I agree. I would. Rogue One is the best of the. See, here's the thing. Before The Last Jedi, I very passionately believe that The Force Awakens was the best of the new ones. After Last Jedi, it's hard because I still like The Force Awakens. I like the concept, but all of it is just ruined by The Last Jedi. But I still also really like Force Awakens. So if to me, Force Awakens can only be saved if The Last Jedi gets retconned in Episode 9. I don't know. That's a tough one. That really is. Again, I don't know. I don't know. Uh, Brando says, watch Odin go. Lost Soldier says K2 was great because he is played by Pirate Steve. Yes. Oh my God. Yeah. I love, he's also played by Wash from Firefly. I mean, he's so great. Lee Lion says, I want to make a fan film of K2SO kicking the crap out of L3. Yes. Do it. Do it, Lethal Lightning. Let's see. Brad Noble says this Dark Lord is done too. I'm about to head out too. So Mech says, if you think K2SO is good, you should check out the best of HK47 from Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. Sounds good. Definitely send that to me. I know that you have access to you can contact me, so please do that. Let's see. Super says, I'm considering writing a post about Lucasfilm for my website and so want to watch Rogue One to get the full picture. People seem really mixed on so many things. Should I know in advance? Just go in with an open mind. Super, just go in with an open mind. Don't listen to me. Again, don't take my word for it. I mean, especially when it comes to films like this, it's very subjective. Obviously, film criticism in general is very subjective. There are, of course, objective things that you just can't ignore. But as far as the enjoyment of the film, that's a very subjective experience. So just go in with open mind. That's the advice I would give you. Stephanie, thanks for shouting out my Twitter. Definitely contact me on Twitter. My Twitter is like blowing up right now because probably the John Kasdan. Probably a lot of the John Kasdan people. Jedi Starship says, my gripes for that entire film was the stupid hyperspace project mentioned, not so good looking Tarkin, and pale ghost face Leia, who shouldn't have smiled. Yeah, the CGI characters did not look good at all. Lee Lion says, in the sense of being a Star Wars story, Rogue One is a Star Wars story as opposed to Solo, which isn't a Star Wars story. It's more character focused. Yeah, I agree there. 70B, I will be there. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Brandon will never give up. Odin, I will never try and give up. Brandon says, get it. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I hope to see you there. I need my pet troll to support me in that chat tomorrow. Lee Lion says, Odin, tag me on Twitter when you go live tomorrow, please. I will do my best to remember that. 70B, if you can remember that. Oh, 70B. Okay, 70B is going to tag you. Awesome, because I have terrible short-term memory, so I will do the very best that I can. I'm definitely going to tweet it out. But thank you, Stephanie, for doing that. He says, if I were Disney, I would have hired very talented writers, make an original new story, and add some nostalgia with old characters, but in a very subtle way. I'd agree. Jimmy Carr says, I like The Force Awakens in isolation for obvious reasons. Okay, I can understand that. Let's see. Lee Line says, yeah, HK47 is the best droid except R2-D2. Good to know. Lee Line says, thanks, Stephanie. Shipping Steph Letha. Brad Noble, of course. Stephanie B, you're amazing. You're so awesome. Lost Soldier says, I can't do The Force Awakens. Make me wish I was watching A New Hope. I can understand that for sure. Brad Noble says, a bit. Jedi Starship says, have you guys seen The Last Jedi ending ripped off Escape from LA? Ryan is a hack. Yes. So again, John Talk Star Wars did a video on that, but it was based off of another video from another channel. So definitely go check that out for sure. Brad Noble, I'm the troll to be mean. You are. All right, guys. So that is going to be a wrap for tonight's stream. I'm just going to read any last minute comments, but guys, thank y'all so much for joining me. Thanks for just making this a lively discussion. Thanks for watching a blank screen while I picked up dog crap. Like, that's how amazing y'all are. Y'all are freaking fantastic. I love y'all so much. Let's see. Leela says, I defended The Force Awakens and Rey so much right until The Last Jedi. Then I felt like an idiot. I mean, I feel like a lot of us were fooled in that way because a lot of us were expecting the characters to go in directions that would have been really cool and would have worked and would have, again, from a narrative standpoint, would have made sense. But yeah, I agree. I really do. I really do think that that's a good point. But again, part of me still wants to hold on to that hope that The Force Awakens might get, retconned somehow. Or rather, like, The Last Jedi might get retconned and that The Force Awakens might be saved. Brad Noble says, you already lost. Oh, no, you lost. All right, Stephanie B says, good night, everyone. Tip your Valkyries. Absolutely. So definitely tip your Valkyries, guys. So have a great night. You are amazing. Please join me tomorrow on the Geeks and Gamers channel, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. Me and Jeremy are going to have an awesome conversation. Still don't know exactly about what, but I know that with us together, it's going to be fun. We're going to talk about Star Wars, movies, culture probably, and it's going to be awesome. So thank y'all so much for joining us tonight. Have a great night. And as always, God bless. Y'all are amazing, guys.